4 summers past, I have gathered the name Apricity Sylviela Jursil, Brickmardle Burntip Hoyden Widdendream. I was born into a secretive clan of forest gnomes in the peaceful woodlands of Hilyafinda in Risha. As is usual there, I learned the ways of the forest as I grew, becoming known as a most highly skilled woodcarver. After leading my clan to victory against a band of marauding humans in my 61st summer, I was celebrated as a folk hero. I am followed all places above ground by my tame fire starling Warmin, and I carry with me a staff with collected treasures and charms of protection gifted to me by my clan. Proficient with my short bow and daggers, a sudden change in circumstance made me as skilled with my thieves' tools and burglar's pack as I am with my woodcarving tools. A long search for something immensely invaluable has led my feet down the path of a rogue. I currently find myself travelling in Borsin on my quest after leaving my forest 20 and some years ago. My search led me across Risha and into Borsin, where I often have to remain hidden due to fear of foreign non-human folk by the locals. Providing charms for crops and animals to the few friendly farmers I meet, and learning the ways of thievery and trickery, these have kept me alive and have helped me along my way. My search incomplete, I cannot yet return home to my beloved clanmates.
Hello everybody and welcome to episode 5, man! Episode 5 of the Tuesday edition of Blunders Bothwellians Wounded Witch edition. Can I hear a whoop whoop?
We're still alive!
Yay! That was in fact the title of the Facebook event I created for this event. It was, how are our heroes doing? Are any of them still alive? Have they made it to this point in the story? We may never know. But you have, and I'm very impressed. And most of you are still here. We start this evening's episode with a caveat, which is to say that Redo and Swanee, seeing as their players can't make it, have both made their way back to the tavern and are indulging themselves reading some of the books that Swanee bought in the market the other day. So I think it was quite a lot of fairy tales and history of Borsin, so they're going to be up on their knowledge. I might actually give them an extra point in that next time they come back, because that might be quite nice for them. But yes, so we are 2 down today, but still going strong because nobody's dead yet. Woohoo!
Yay!
And the enthusiasm abounds.
Worried about the yet.
So last episode we left off in the market town. You had spent an interesting day exploring the Blue Doored house, where the new leaders of the town, Mostal Moscule and Leith Monroe, lived. You did not know that Redo and Varric had done a little heist of the house the previous evening, because they still haven't mentioned that to any of you, have they? So you have no idea.
They said some stuff in earshot of me.
Yeah, me and Bertie, I think, are very suspicious.
Suspicions arise.
However, I could only hear Redo.
Well, we didn't say anything.
Nothing
yet.
Deliberately incriminating, but yes. So after doing a fairly medium successful ransack of the house, and then attempting to go up and being told that the leaders were not in fact there, they were at the market, you headed back down towards the market, but you stopped at a large temple, the High Temple, and the school. And to say that your entrance at the school went well would be completely untrue. Let's just say it involved scaring a classroom full of kids, yellow birds flying through the windows and breaking the glass, the children pointing at Betheritas and screaming, Varric bursting out of a cupboard. Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have gone any better, really, can it, guys?
Get the song and the magic.
Oh, yes, and there was a song and magic, and amidst all of this, somehow Arissa got herself into a situation where she has promised a guard from the leader's house, whose name was Jensen, a story about pigs, because he loves pigs, yeah! I love pigs, yeah! So that's going to be Interesting. That'll come back to bite you on the arse later. So you now find yourselves in the market on the lookout for the leaders, Mostel Moscule and Leith Monroe, who all of you don't actually really know what they look like, except for Varric, who saw a painting of them by nightlight while he was in their home. But Varric is a little bit distracted at the moment because as you wander through the marketplace, carefully avoiding the stall with the man who recognised Vitheritas and shouted at him, accusing him of breaking all his shit, and
Still
keeping...
no idea what he's going on about.
Yeah, no idea.
Of course not.
And keeping Arissa away from anything shiny, you notice that Varric was wandering off, and in the distance you can hear shouts of "Hot, tasty, fresh today, come and get 'em!" And given that this implied food, and Varric's stomach was a-grumbling, he toddled off. Now, you see him toddling off. Are you going to follow him? What are you guys going to do?
I'm going to follow him. Yeah, I'm going to follow.
Since everyone's heading that way, I'm going.
Yeah. Alright, so you make your way through the bustling market, which is fairly full of people at the moment. And you follow the dark-haired elf as he wanders along on his tippy toes, desperately searching for the source of the food. And over the heads of the crowd, you see two people standing on crates and boxes, holding trays of hot, steaming pies. And that is what has been shouted about. And you can see a dark-haired, tall female human in her early 40s, and a portly, round male human, a few years older than her, potentially 50s, with thinning hair and a sour face. And he is stood behind the woman, slightly to the back, holding trays of pies and sort of shaking them at the crowd. The woman is taking charge, and she's the voice you've heard. And she is calling over the crowd, she's going, "Hot, hot and fresh, all fresh meat today, people, come on, come and buy, come and buy."
I'm walking closer.
To no one's great surprise, the elf steps closer, and he walks towards them. Are you going to go straight up and buy a pie?
A few. I'll buy two. Wait, actually, how much do they cost?
Ah, what a very good question. Are you guys all going to follow him as well, by the way?
I am.
I'll follow, but I'll keep my distance.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of disappear into the crowd, but keep an eye on Varric.
Yeah? Okay. So, keeping some distance then, that's alright.
Yeah.
Wait, actually, I think Varric wouldn't instantly walk to the middle of the stand.
Okay.
I'll walk to the side.
There
Like
isn't really a
sneaky.
side. They're stood sort of to the side of the pathway that people are walking along, but they're like standing on crates and boxes. It's not an official stall. They're just stood there.
Is there any chance for me to steal?
You can sure roll a stealth for me first.
Stealth isn't the problem. 25.
Okay. Can you also roll me a perception while you're there?
Me? Perception?
Yes.
That's a 15 total.
Okay. And can you roll me a sleight of hand?
Can I get lucky?
Do you really want to use it this early in the day for a pie? But sure, player choice.
Fair point, no. No, it's not a nat one. I was lucky enough to roll a 7. So that's
Okay,
14 total.
so 14 total. Oh god, yeah, because your additional bonuses are insane. Alright, you managed to sneaky, and while a lot of other people in the crowd are buying pies from the front and wandering up and looking and paying a great deal of attention, #lucky7, yes indeed. Not so lucky for Vitheritas, but never mind. You manage to sneak around to the back of the crates and have a peer over at the pies on the male human, the man's tray. He seems a bit surlier and he's keeping a bit further back and only going up when people call him over to buy a pie or wave at him and indicate they're interested. And he's holding his tray slightly lower down than her. And you manage to sneak your hand around to the side and grab one of the smaller ones off the corner. As you do, though, you catch a glimpse of the man's face, and as you disappear your hand with the pie in it, he doesn't notice you, but you recognise him. This is Mostal Moscule. You recognise him from the painting in the house when you were in there.
Of all the people to steal from.
I think I won't say a thing yet. I'm eating pie.
Alright, are you going to steal any more pie? Are you going to buy any pie? Or are you just going to walk off with that one particular pie?
I think I need another one.
Are you going to steal another one?
Same deal?
If you're stealing, then you don't need the perception, you just need the, again, stealth and then sleight of hand.
Stealth is 19.
Alright.
Total. And a 16 for sleight of hand.
Alright, again, you managed to take a pie slightly closer to the centre this time. Fairly warm. The guy is a bit distracted by... He just has a look of not really being particularly a fan of being out in front of loads of people, and he doesn't really want to be selling this. He's not looking very, like... He's just looking a bit grumpy, really. And he's distracted in his own thoughts, and you managed to sneak. So you've now got 2 pies.
I walk back to the group, to the front of the stall and try to hide the pies from the people, but also find the group again.
Alright, you wander back over to your group. Are you going to finish the pies before you get there, or just hide them from them?
I'll hide one from them and eat the other.
Alright, Varric, note down that you have 1 hidden pie.
Yay, 1 hidden pie!
Alright, you find yourself back at the others in the group. If any of you watching him, would you like to roll a perception to see if you see him do that?
I will.
Yeah.
I roll an advantage for the fact that I know what he's like.
Sure.
I think Arissa might know what was going on.
Sure, definitely, yeah. Arissa can roll with
18.
advantage. 18.
Yeah.
Alright, yep. So, Apricity, you spot him do it the first time, but you don't spot him do it the second time.
Okay. And I'm not surprised at all.
Arissa, you notice him standing behind the dude, but you don't see anything. And Vitheritas, you see him steal the first pie, but not the second.
I'm frowning at him when he comes back.
Varric, you wander back over to the group and the tiefling is scowling at you. Apricity, the gnome, is looking up at you with a expression, and Arissa smiles at you.
I offered Arissa pie.
The hidden pie.
Yeah.
Alright.
Aww.
Would you want a pie?
Who are you offering it to?
Arissa.
I kind of look at it in surprise and go, "Oh, thank you." Just happily accept.
I hope you enjoy it.
Cool. Whilst they're munching their pies, because I'm completely clueless as to what the leaders look like, I'm kind of still looking around to see if I can work out who they are.
Okay.
Oh, can I absent-mindedly mention that he looks familiar?
Sure.
I'll do that.
I've seen it before.
How does he look familiar, Varric?
I don't know. Perhaps we saw him marked earlier.
Could I use my insight to see if I can tell that he's lying?
Yes.
26 total.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even gonna roll.
Varric, you're too
I'm
distracted
sorry,
by Pi to even roll a deception on that.
Well, it's gotta be impossible to roll 26 with a -1.
Alright, yeah, Apricity, you don't know why, but he's like, yeah, he's not telling the truth. He has seen this dude before, and he's lying to you about where.
Yeah. Varric, now's probably the time to be truthful. Why do you know this guy?
I told you, I didn't know.
Okay.
Still lying.
Yeah.
As in, she'll still know that because she rolled so highly the first time.
That makes sense.
I'm going to ignore Varric and turn to the nearest friendly-looking local and ask if they know where Mostal Moskul and Leif Dudar are this fine day.
There's a gentleman walking behind you with a sack full of some old rags and things that he's taking home or something, and he says, well, I don't know about Leif Dudar, but Mostel Moskul and Leif Monroe are behind you. And he points to the man and woman selling pies.
Oh, that's why he looked familiar.
I'm going to shoot Varric a very suspicious look. Before the man goes, I'd like to ask him, are the two leaders of the town usually found in the market selling pies?
No. Normally we never see him, but recently they've been down here selling quite a lot.
Do you have any idea why that might be?
Oh, I wouldn't know. Maybe they're trying to make good and have good appearances like they're one of the people. I don't know. Bit weird, you ask me. You'd think they'd have more important things to do. Maybe they just like baking.
What other things have you seen them selling?
Bed sheets, curtains, clocks, some fancy jewellery knickknacks, some upholstery stuff, bits and pieces, all very fancy like. Figured they'd imported it from somewhere. Not that many of us can afford it, mind.
Cool, thank you, man.
Yeah, alright then. And the man wanders away.
Varric, I know that you've travelled around a lot before. Have you been to Stock before? Have you met these people?
I've seen them before, but only on a painting.
Ah, you have a way with painting pros.
Yeah. Wait, does she still know I'm lying?
She knows that you're telling the truth about the painting.
Also, how much did I eat from the pie? Is it, like, did I finish it?
That's up to you. It's not as big as some of the other pies you've had, but it's bigger than a pork pie you'd buy in a shop, but not as big as a cherry pie. Sort of in between, about the size of a large sandwich roll.
Yeah, I'd say I'd finished it by now.
Yeah.
And then I'm much more happy to talk because I don't have to eat anymore. Yeah, I saw them on a painting when I was there.
When you were where?
Well, where else would I see a painting of them?
Anywhere, they're the leaders, aren't they?
They did have quite a fancy house.
Berth is going to be giving you a glance and a very disapproving look.
I wanted to make sure that we knew what we were up against. Seems like they're piss poor.
We'd been working that out ourselves.
Hmm?
Well, the guard mentioned that there was taking curtains and bed sheets from the house.
They don't have anything. They did have one safe, but you couldn't open it.
Varric, how far did you get into their place?
It's easy. They left the window open.
I thought you'd just been looking through the window.
I wasn't gonna watch, but it was open. So why not?
It explains why you noticed someone following you.
Yeah, we only saw him when we returned to the tavern, though. Or at least that's when I saw him.
Yeah, that's when
He
you. That's when.
approved of the idea.
That's when you both saw him. You and Reedy saw the hooded dude as you were heading back to the tavern.
I know, but Varric doesn't know that Redo saw him only there.
Ah, okay.
And I mean, we were lying all this time, so why wouldn't she lie to me?
That's true. That was very true.
Well, since we've suddenly found the leaders, I reckon it's time we have a chat.
They did have an awfully nice pie. I really need to thank them.
Varric
Maybe you
knows
should
where
admit
his
to them that you've
priorities are.
stolen.
The therapist is now just face palm.
Oh, I need to find a meme of a face-palming tiefling to add to this edit. Alright, so, are you guys gonna literally walk up and speak to them then?
I think less people this time.
You think what, sorry?
I don't think they need all four of us going.
Well, I was going to say, they're not going to want to stop selling their pies.
Ooh, I'll walk up. I'll buy a pie.
Yeah, so we go up and, like, make some transactions and make some small talk. I think they're going to be more willing to talk than if we just go over and start demanding. Or I could obviously sell their pies whilst they talk to you guys. I'm quite persuasive.
Well, based on people's reactions to me so far, I'll keep my distance.
Let's let you do the talking. I'll do the buying.
Okay.
And the eating, yes.
I mean,
Alright, so are you gonna walk up to the two of them and get to the front of the queue and start, well, yeah, get to the front of the queue and then it's on you guys, really.
Quick question before we are at the front.
Uh-huh.
go on.
Is Arissa still holding the pie out in the open?
Or have you eaten it, Arissa?
So I have been eating it.
Yeah? I'm sure you can have finished it by the time you get up to the top, so.
Yeah, sure.
He
Okay,
didn't
so by
notice
the time
weight disappearing from his plate.
by the time you get there, the pie is gone. There's no evidence that you have stolen from these people.
Uh-huh.
Now all that's left is not fuck up in the talking. Uh-oh.
Okay, so who is going to go up and actually speak to them then?
I'll go and have a chat with them.
Alrighty. If anyone else wants to do anything specific, just let me know. So, alright, you get to the front of the queue. Some other people have bought some pies. As they move away, the woman, who is very tall, with long, dark, slightly curled hair. She's in her early 40s, female, human, wearing a long sort of red dress, but not particularly fancy, no real embroidery or anything, just fairly plain dress. And she's got a tray with about half the pies gone, and she leans down to you from her crate and she says, "Yes, would you like some? Would you like some? They're fresh today, freshly baked, very special, lovely, hot, fresh pies."
I'll take one. I'll buy one for my elf friend here as well, please.
Of course. 2 pies for
Ooh,
you.
thank you.
It's a silver for 2.
I hand over the money and comment on how wonderful the pies smell. What's the recipe?
Oh, it's a trade secret. I couldn't possibly tell you that. But it's hot and it's very, very fresh. Lovely. Made with our own special gravy as well, you know. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. She calls over the top of your head. Absolutely lovely. Come along. They're not going to keep. Special pies, fresh today. Everybody, come along, come along, come along.
When you're in town, are you both town bakers?
Oh, no, dear. I wouldn't say that. We're just, dabbling to see how it goes. had an idea. It's panning out. Entrepreneurial, you might say.
Very admirable, Mum.
Thank you, dear. She's sort of giving you guys a look over, and for a moment there's like a flash of recognition in her eyes, but she very quickly stifles it and carries on pretending that you're unknown to her. So, and she looks at you, Varric. Are you eating the pie, or have you just taken it from Aristide?
I'm eating it.
Would you like any more? You look like you're rather enjoying that one. We can do you some more. They're only here for today.
They are incredibly tasty.
They are very, very lovely. You might want to make the most of it, of course, I could do you 3 for another silver if you like. And she's sort of shaking the tray at you.
I think Varric has to. Yeah, I will. I would love 3 more. And I hand her a silver.
Excellent! She takes the silver from you very quickly and pockets it and takes a couple of pies off the man's tray as well, because she's running low, and she gives you 2 from his and 1 from hers. There you go, marvellous. And would you like some for your friends? Everyone should share in these, don't you know? Get them a couple each, what do you think? Yes?
Well, I think they can buy their own pie.
Oh, yes. Excellent. Do send them over, won't you? Everyone welcome here. Everyone come and buy your fresh hot pie. She calls over your head.
Mom, before we leave, can I, like I said, when you're in town, can I ask you a couple of questions?
Of course you can.
I found this very strange vial floor. And I handed it to one of the stall holders, asking if they dropped it from their table. And they said that they'd seen it passing hands in one of the temples, and mentioned something about children going missing. Is this a regular occurrence in this town?
Ooh, some of that was a lie, wasn't it?
How do you mean, Mum?
Oh, that was me as DM, not as her. Sorry.
Oh yeah, some of that was a lie. Yeah.
Some of that, but not enough.
Anymore, right?
Not enough of it was a lie. Not enough of it. You don't have to roll deception, because actually, she's got a face on her now, and she says, "Oh, well, of course the missing children's all very sad, but one of those mysteries, not a lot anyone can really do when you don't know the answer to the mystery."
So it's more than one's gone missing then?
Well, you did say children. I assume you've heard. Yes, more than one. Been quite a few over the last year or so.
How many?
Oh, blugger me if I know. I mean, I couldn't say off the top of my head exactly, but I know it's quite a number, and people are quite distressed about it.
We also heard talk in the town of a man who was quite bad news and had some dabblings with children and some not very nice things going on. Is there something to do with him going on?
I'm not 100% sure what you're talking about, dear.
Like I said, it was just rumours.
Oh, well, rumours, can't always listen to them. Usually stuff and nonsense from people who should mind their own business, yes?
Isn't children disappearing from the town basically everybody's business?
Well, for those of us who don't have any, it's not really to do with us, I suppose, and I'm not exactly...
You live in the town, isn't it your safety as well?
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, dear, but I am a little bit over the children age. Of course, it's not...
You're perfectly fine with these children disappearing?
Well, of course, it's not good for morale. No one's particularly happy, but, we're doing what we can to look into it.
how do the leaders of this town feel about the missing children?
Well, and she looks around at the man, who gives her like a scowl, and steps forward a bit. And he's a sort of portly man. He sort of shuffles forward on the block, and he's nearly a head shorter than her, and he doesn't really have to lean down to be at your level very much, even though he's standing on a crate. And he sort of says, "You know who you're talking to, don't you? We are the damn leaders of this town."
Oh, my apologies, sir. Like I said, we're new to this place, and we're just going to be finding our bearings.
Yes, quite. New people should be integrating themselves into the society, don't you think? Not asking pointless questions and harassing people.
We're trying to learn why you're not doing
society by getting to know the local, I can't think of the word, the local people around.
Yes, well, it's all very well, isn't it? But, you know, you should know who it is you're speaking to, and you should watch your language and your accusatory manner, shouldn't you, really?
I apologise, sir. I took you for a simple pie seller.
Yes. Well, nothing simple
I
about
smile
these. Right. So, are you going to buy any more of our pies, or have you got any more incessant questions to keep nagging us with?
I'll take... How many was it? 3 for a silver?
What? It's 2 for a silver. Yes, well, I said they could have 3 for a silver as our special deal, seeing as they're new in town. And she gives him a sort of look. He says, yes. Alright, yes, 3 for a silver then, I suppose.
I hand over the money and give her a very charming smile.
She gives you an equally charming smile back.
Fabulous. Madam, have you heard of a girl called Beverly Credent?
What of her?
Oh, she was the one that was talking in the tavern the other day, and I just wondered how she knew so many things about this town.
Well, she's worked in all the right places, so people pick up on things, you know?
And what might be these right places? What are the right places in this town?
Well, did you speak to her yourself?
No. Sorry. I can just hear lots of echoing.
So, just writing this. Can you hear me all right now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. She says, well, I suppose that's a loaded question, and you know that she used to work for us.
Not for very long, I take it. Was she not a very good worker?
No, she was most unsatisfactory. I let her go. No doubt she's already told you and spread ridiculous rumours.
I wouldn't say I've heard rumours, Mum, just that she was working for 3 weeks and then was let go.
Yes, and those 3 weeks were not adequate enough for her to remain in our employ. And I am not in the habit of explaining myself to townsfolk.
No problem at all, Mum. I was just wondering about your background and how you'd slipped into this wonderful pie baking.
Well, I do like to dabble, you know. Try some things, be one with the people. Always good.
I have
Can I
to
roll
commend you
insight?
on
Yeah, you
mingling
can.
with the local townsfolk in such a way.
Natural 20.
Okay, 1 minute. Apricity, say that last sentence again.
I was just saying how wonderful it is to see leaders of a town mixing with the townsfolk in such a rustic way.
Yes. Well, we are so eager to make sure people know what we have to say and that we're all in this together, of course. Varric, you rolled a nat 20 on insight, yes?
Yes.
So what is it you're looking for? What are you trying to deduce from her?
She was explaining why she was selling pies here. And
Okay.
that's why I wanted to roll.
Okay, well, you get the impression she does not like the common people. She is not doing this to be close to them. You detect from the way she's looking around at people that she is here to sell things, and she's very eager. And every time you see, while you've been speaking to her, a couple of other people have come up and purchased pies from her, and she's been pushing, almost like a car salesman, like pushing for more sales and things. And you don't think it's out of the goodness or the love of pie or anything like that. She just seems to be here to sell as much as she possibly can. And she doesn't seem to... You don't get an air of care about her. You... Hashtag the love of pie. Yeah, you don't get that from her at all.
Okay.
It's very much like a politician saying he promises to, reduce the carbon footprint, but really doesn't give a crap.
Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna pack my little 3 pies away into my bag and thank her for her time and start to walk away.
Yes, goodbye. What about you, Varric? What are you up to?
I walk away from the stand for a bit.
Alright, cool.
Try to talk to the group.
Okay, they continue standing on their crates. They've only got about 8 or 9 pies left between them. And the woman, Leath, starts calling over the crowd again. Hot pies, cooling down now, but still ever so nice. We'll give you 3 for a silver, 3 for a silver. Isn't it great, everybody? Come and get your hot pies, lovely hot pies. Yes, you, of course. And leans down and starts talking to someone else. So, you guys have all reconvened together, distance away from the stand. Go crazy.
So we're now without... Wait, they can't hear us, basically.
No.
Awesome. Guys, she was definitely lying.
About what?
About why she's selling pies. She tries to get as much money or something. Did you see how she kept pushing after we bought those pies?
Yes, and for the leader of a city, she dressed rather drably, one might say.
Yeah. It's, as I already said, they're piss poor.
So, Varric, what did you see in their house? You saw poor belongings and a safe that you couldn't get into.
The safe was hidden behind a painting,
Uh-huh.
and there was a room that looked like a courtroom, which had a safe as well.
Okay.
Come to think of it.
Well, my initial instincts was if they're here in the market, we could go and check out their house again and see that's safe. But
I can show you where I entered.
Huh?
I can show you where I entered the building last time.
Well, because I've got my thieves' tools, I can do lock picking and stuff. But is it worth going back to their safe if they're this poor?
I don't know what's in the safe. Might just be documents that could be useful. Force them to talk. Blackmail.
Well, there's definitely something weird going on with this sharpened rock buying himself out of the dungeon and kids going missing. I want to know what's in those pies.
Maybe they have the recipe in the house.
What, of dead kid pie?
Yeah.
At the very least, I'm curious what's going on at night. Why people would need to stay indoors.
Yeah. Is there anything that we want to ask these leaders right here, right now? Because we were going to go to the poor end of town's temple and have a chat with them there. Also, it might be worth going back and talking to our lovely friend Peter in the tavern, because he seems to know something about what's going on.
We could split up.
We could.
Set a few towards the house, and a few towards the poor part of town, and then meet up at Peter's.
I'm quite happy to go sneaky into the house.
I want to go back.
Temples don't really get me excited.
Well, I'm not exactly without the sneaking.
Ooh, I think I still know the layout for the house. Considering Wanderer.
Well, it's up to you guys. I'm quite happy to try some daylight breaking.
I think it could be done. But regards last time.
Ooh, we could get Arissa to tell the guy the pig story, and whilst he's distracted, we can break in.
So you want me to go into the church on my own?
Oh, good point.
I think an unaccompanied tiefling, you'll be fine.
It's just a matter of what kind of answers I get.
Wait,
Humans
can I
here are
give
a little bit picky around me.
Well, what? Right, let's all go to the temple and then all go to the house.
Yeah, but then the tiefling has to sneak into a building.
I could stand outside.
Ooh, be back up for Arissa telling the story.
If I hear screaming and shouting, I can always run in.
Yeah?
Sounds good. Ooh, we can break in at night. We can also watch the streets and see what's happening there.
True that. Well, so, how about temple, cavern, blue door house?
Deal.
Sounds good to me.
So good.
This was what I was imagining while I was creating them, by the way.
Yeah, so perfect.
Love it.
You're
So-
amazing.
So, your plan, for want of a better word, is?
I believe it's temple first.
Yeah.
The
Or end of town temple.
the lower temple, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
With the man and his assistant that you've already met, Haya, Tom, and Debois.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, okay. So you head on through the town and you go towards the lower temple. And as you get up towards it, you see that there is a throng of people outside, particularly women, carrying children, holding children by the hand, very distressed looking. And you remember you saw quite a lot of this when you walked around the back of it on your first day out in stock as well. And it looks like it's a fairly familiar sight. People have been queuing up. Nobody looks surprised to see that many people. And you manage to jostle your way past and make your way inside. And inside you see the little temple is full. There is the shrine to Tyar at one end, which is the same as the other temple and what everyone in this town seems to worship to, which is the what's the word? The I've forgotten the word now. Like the scales. I think it's scales.
Yeah, I believe.
I'm just gonna check that I've got the right word. Yeah, it's a set of scales, a balanced scales. That was why I was thinking it wasn't the right word. Balanced scales on a warhammer. And there's a crumbling roof, and you can see bits of the sky through it. Not a lot, but just where leaks would happen. The windows are fairly grimy. A lot of the pews have got dust or scratches or just been worn away over the years, and even some of the candles and books scattered around are very old and scuffed up. You do see Debois moving through the crowds of people, offering some prayer and some comfort with some. She's wearing long flowing robes and her hair's all tied back. And you can also see Haya Tom further up towards the head of the church. He's doing some blessings on a queue of people, which seems to be what most people are queuing for, those who aren't sitting in the pews. And you can see that he is holding something and blessing children by touching something to their forehead, muttering something, and then they move along. And the women seem to be bringing their children here to get some sort of blessing from him.
Can I have a look around and see how many kids and parents are there? Are there more here than there are in the rich end?
There's more here, probably because it's a smaller church, so it looks like there's more people, but also because it's the poorer end of town, there tends to be slightly more people. So yeah, there's more. There's definitely more.
Can I try and see if I see any people holding the bottles they had in the rich end?
Sure.
Probably not.
I'll be actually keeping at a low side for that as well.
Alright, you can both roll then. What did you get, Varric?
Natural one.
I probably didn't even see one of the benches or something and fell.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Varric. You tread on a woman's toes as you're so intently looking at something she has in her hand before you realise it's the hand of her child.
Excuse me, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Watch where you're going. Look out. Alright, Verti got a 17, that's better. You don't see anyone holding anything remotely similar to what you saw in the other temple, except for Higher Tom.
Oh, I was then going to say I'd like to make my way up to the front and look at what Higher Tom is using to bless his kids to see if there's any similarity.
Yeah, as you get closer, you wander past the queue of people, and Debois shoots you a look when she sees you queue cutting, but then she notices who you are and sort of nods and carries on speaking to the people next to her. And you notice collectively that, yes, Higher Tom has a small vial of exactly the same liquid that they were selling in the Higher Temple.
Interesting.
Can I hang out near Debois and wait for her to continue talking to the people she's talking to?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to stand patiently and try and catch her eye.
Yeah, can do. And what were the others doing?
I'm going to move up to the front, I guess, of the temple, take a seat and wait for a gap in the crowd.
Yeah. Alright.
So basically you just cough once and the crowd just separate.
Yeah. Vitheritas, it has not been difficult for you to find a path to walk through this sea of people. They have parted for you, and in fact a lot of the women are shrinking back and keeping their children very far away from you. And a few of the children point and whisper and go, "The beast! The beast! Is that it, Mummy? Is that him? Has he come to take us away?"
It's very good that Redu is not here right now, because we should make bad things here around him just to free the kids up.
Yeah. It's a good job that she's reading in the tavern with Swanee. Alright, so while you wait near the top, Apricity, you manage to catch Debois' eye and sort of beckon her over, and she steps away. She seems to be sort of offering words of comfort to the people waiting in the queue for the blessings, and she walks towards you, her robes sort of flowing around her. She's wearing apprentice robes for someone who has sworn themselves to the church and the temple, and her hair is back and she looks a little tired, but all right. And she walks over to you and she says, "Yes, what can we do for you?"
Good day to you. It seems very busy in here. Is it always like this?
It has been busy for nearly a year.
Is this since the disappearances I've heard of?
Yes. Ever since the first children went missing, around a year ago, everyone has been flocking here for help and comfort, the little we can give.
It's good that they have somewhere that they can come.
Yes, I only wish we could do more than offer kind words to those who have lost their children, and patience and hope for those who have not.
Deborah, may I ask, what is it that Tom used for his blessing? I'm very ignorant when it comes to the way of your temple.
That is a special formula he had. He bought it from the... Pause for a moment. Where's the name of the person he bought it from? Good damn! There it is. He bought it from Volston Creek, from the other temple. He came to us one day offering us to share with him. He said he was selling it to his congregation and would we like to sell it to ours. But Tom would not hear of it. He buys it and he gives it out freely to everyone. He will not charge people for something that will protect them.
It's extremely honourable of him.
It is...
What is it that's in the liquid?
I do not know. I am not a person of potion making.
What is it that it's trying to protect against?
From whatever it is taking the children in the night.
So you have no idea where they're going?
We have no idea. All we know is women come to us and they cry and they say they tuck their children up in bed at night and the next morning they are not there.
Has there been any sort of similarities between the children or the families that they've got missing from?
No. It has been high-born, low-born, children in between. The only thing is they are usually, well, children, so within reason, none above the age of about 13.
Well, if there's a... Hang on. If there's anything that we could do as a party, we are on the lookout for more jobs that would afford us monies to continue with our quest.
I am afraid we have very little money to speak of. You can possibly tell. Our church is, well, it is a temple of love, not a temple of money. She glances up at the roof where you can see sort of, gaps where the rainwater would drip through and things. And
would there be anybody else in the town that could offer us money?
Have you tried speaking to our leaders? Surely it would be in their interest to help.
I have a feeling that they're not as wealthy as they let on.
Well, that is the biggest shame. I am sorry I cannot offer you anything other than perhaps we could give you some protection too if you could try to help with this. But I would never ask it of anyone, as it could be endangering you too.
I would gladly accept any blessings that you could offer. Deborah, do you know why people say that we should be in before darkfall?
Because the children only go missing at night.
So why is it that adults such as us want to hide?
Because we do not know if it is only children or if there are perhaps some adults. Maybe no one has noticed them go missing. People come and go from our town sometimes. People go to explore, people go to hunt, people just leave. People don't come back, people travel. Perhaps more are missing that we do not know about or have not noticed yet.
Thank you, Deborah. I'll let you get back to your congregation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And as you're sitting there, you are approached by a... Sorry. So, you are approached by a very smiley, happy, 12-year-old-ish looking blonde altar boy wearing simple robes with a little sash around his waist. He's carrying some books and he's been handing them out to people. He's been playing with some of the children. And he steps up and he says, "Oh, hello! And can I help you at all? The queue is tremendously long today. Can I do anything for you while you're waiting?"
Wait,
I presume this
now?
was a dressed subvert.
Is he talking to me? Sorry.
Yeah, he's talking to you.
Cool.
And
Good day, young man.
he also sort of looks a little bit pink in the face, and you get the impression that he came up to you assuming you were a child waiting for their mother, and now realizes his mistake, but is going to bluster on with it anyway.
To ease the tension, I'm going to call down my first darling, who's flapping around the ceiling, and get her to land on his shoulder, and then offer him some breadcrumbs, some bits of pie crust to give to her.
"Oh, wow! Is this your bird?" And he's like
She is.
timidly holding out little bits of bread, going, "Oh!" every time she takes it from him, and like, you know, daintily pecks it from him. "Wow! She's amazing!" And he like extends his arm and like she walks down it very daintily, like pluming her feathers and looking all magnificent. And he's like holding on his wrist going, "Oh, what's her name?"
Her name's Warmin. It
Warmin?
means to be badly behaved.
Oh. And he sort of does a sort of look of a child who has grown up being taught that innocence is all you should know, and he goes, oh, that's a bit naughty."
She's often well behaved, but she can be naughty when she needs to be.
Oh.
She doesn't make friends easily, so she must like you.
"Oh, wow, that's so cool. Hi, Warmin." And he like waves his other hand at her.
And what's your name, young man?
"Oh, sorry." And he sort of offers his left hand awkwardly while keeping Warmin on his other hand. "I'm Reese. How are you? Who are you? How do you do? What's your name?"
I'm Apricity. It's very nice to meet you.
"Hi, Apricity."
You work here.
"I do. Well, it's just I'm training here. I'm going to be a priest when I'm a big grown-up."
It's a very admirable occupation.
"I think so,
Especially
yes."
if you're here. Especially if you're here to look after the people in times of great need.
"Well, yes, that is what I think is the best thing to do. And of course, the whole being dumped here as a child and not having parents, you know, that sort of helped. I want to pay back the community who've been so great to me."
Have the temple kept for you.
Say that again, you went a bit floofy.
I just like being floofy. Has the temple cared for Reese?
Yeah. He says, "Oh, yes, I was one of those," and he sort of looks as if he's telling a story that he thinks you'll have heard a million times before. "You know, found on the church doorstep when I was not a few days old, baby that no one really knew where they came from, but they took me in anyway, and here I am still, and it's been fine, and I've had a really nice time, and wow!" And like, Warman started to like clean her feathers on his hand, and he's like holding her and he puts his other arm out to keep his arm really straight, and he holds onto it with his left hand, keeping her really straight forward. He's like, "Wow, she's so cool. But yeah, so I've been here since I was a baby, and they're training me up, and I get to be a priest one day, just like Hi Tom. He's been so great. He's like a really cool uncle, or a brother, or a sort of father, I suppose, but cooler, you know?"
He sounds like a very interesting man.
"He's great. Have you met him? I could make you introduce. I could. And he takes a breath. "I could introduce you to him if you want."
That would be lovely, Reese. However, he looks quite busy right now. I would hate to interrupt him.
"Oh, that's okay. Everyone always takes a 10-minute break while everyone has a silent hymn prayer together in a minute. So any minute now, everyone will have a silent prayer hymn together, where everyone a silent prayer where they all sing a hymn. I meant they have a silent sing. I mean, do you know what I mean?"
I think I do.
And, oh, look! And he waves at Higher Tom, who has blessed another child, and the queue has stopped moving, and everyone has sort of bowed their heads together, and they're all mumbling along to a song now, which everyone is now singing together, and Higher Tom is joining in with. And Reese says to you, "This is it. This is your chance if you want to have a chat with him. He should have another 5 minutes after everyone's finished singing, because they have a little bit of silent prayer. And Higher Tom doesn't always do the silent prayer, but I don't mean that he's supposed to and he's being bad. I mean, he walks around and he talks to people while the rest of them are silent praying.
Reese, it's been an absolute pleasure to chat with you. Thank you.
Oh, that's okay. Shall I get him for you?
That would be wonderful if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. Can Wyman come with me just for a minute?
If you whistle to her, she'll follow you.
I don't know how to whistle.
Let me do it for you.
Okay.
And I let out a few little trilling whistles, and she flies up from his hand and follows him around his head.
All right.
Just like that.
Cool. And yeah, she flies off, and he skips off, looking up every now and then. And some of the children, even though they're quite scared, sort of praying and mumbling with next to their parents, they sort of look up and go, "Ah!" And you can see him like a little beam on his face. He's running down the aisle, never having looked so cool in his entire life. Like, yeah, look, she's called Wyman. Ah! And he gets up to Higher Tom and he says something to him, and you can't hear, but he then points over at you and gives you a wave, and very enthusiastically, and then forgets that she's on that shoulder and quickly drops it and waves the other hand instead. And then Higher Tom sort of nods, and they both come back over to you. And as he's walking, he notices the rest of you, so Betheritas and Arissa and Varric, and you guys can all sort of come with him all together. And
yep, I'm going to get up and follow.
Awesome. And Wyman is going to fly off his shoulder and hover around the top of the temple again. And Reese is going to go off and do his duties of going off to talk to people, but he does say to Apricity before he goes, says, "Thank you, that was so nice to meet you, Apricity lady."
It was lovely to meet you too, Reese.
Bye! Come again!
Bye. We shall.
And he sort of waves and he skips off, and he goes and has a chat with some of the children who are being a bit impatient at the back, and he plays some games and things. And
ordinarily, Apricity would be very overwhelmed by this and full of joy for being around such a charming child. But she's trying to hide all of this inside because she's still not sure about the rest of this crew and whether she could show any kind of softness yet.
All right. Inwardly noted by the DM.
So I'm trying to look tough.
Looking tough and cool. Alright, from the looks of our chat, we don't have a Varric or an Arissa right now. They've just said BRB. So,
Yeah.
Veritas, is there anything you and Apricity would like to speak to Higher Tom about now that he's in front of you all?
I'm going to greet him, and then I'm going to kind of hand over to Verti because he was the one that talked to him in the tavern the other day.
Alrighty.
I'm going to greet him as well and go, good to see you again, Higher Tom.
And you, what brings you to our humble temple today?
Questions, mainly.
Ah, I see. To which I
We've been-
hope I can provide the answers. Do go on.
We've been hearing more about these missing children around town. And the blessings from the churches came up a bit. Not too familiar myself with the types of blessing, especially the ones that I saw at the temple in the richer Adapata.
Ah, yes. I must say I'm not 100% certain what it is they are offering in that temple, but we do what we can here, of course. So, what were you wanting to know?
The type of blessing came up, and we were shown a vial of liquid that was supposed to warn off evil. I'm very unfamiliar with this myself.
That would be one similar to this, and he holds up the vial that he's been...
Yeah, and I presume I recognise it immediately as the same.
Yeah, it's the same. It's not the same one that you've seen before, but it's the same liquid in another bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the one.
Ah, yes. I have been offered to have a purchase agreement with the Higher Temple. They have concocted this mixture which they have assured me can offer some manner of protection to our town's children, and of course I could not sit idly by and offer them nothing, so...
Has it been effective so far?
In part. Of course I cannot say whether it's entirely down to me, of course, because of all the children I've been blessing with it, it's only been a few weeks. Only one of them has gone missing. But I hear that in the higher end of the city, shall we say, they are giving it to people to take home. And of course, I feel the protection would work better if I could only give every member of my congregation, everyone in my flock, their own bottle every night. But sadly, neither of us could afford that.
What do they do with the bottle?
When the priest, Volsum Creek, came to me and offered to sell me his concoction, he informed me that the children should open the bottle and have it by their bed at night, and it would cast a protection around them and keep them safe. However, he was charging 2 gold per bottle for this. I have purchased several, but I could not afford more than 6 in the last few weeks, and so of course 6 will only go round 6 of my congregation, and so instead I have been using a blessing to go with it, and hoping it will be enough to make it strong before they go home.
Understand.
And the blessing that he's talking of, well, that he's using the word blessing, you understand it, basically it would be a simple prayer of,
Yep.
you know, you would get it. It's like, it's not a particularly strong magic-y thing, it's more of a question of faith and hope kind of thing, you know. Yeah, one of those. This being a human place, they don't really have, you know, magical priests. It's all done on faith.
Yep.
And just FYI to the chat, Varric has given Wyman 5 silvers to send over to Reese, who caught them ecstatically and started handing them out to some of the children nearby him in the crowd.
That kid is adorable.
For someone who hates children, I can write them bloody well.
Sorry. A priest is going to, like, watch this and kind of almost start to well up and then kind of hide it again and just...
Alright. Apricity is standing there looking almost as if she's desperate to fart but trying to hold it in.
Gnomes often have their look on their face.
Alright.
Ooh, actually, talking about money, can I say to a higher Tom that I think that his work is really good and hand him 24 gold?
Have you got 24 gold? But yeah, sure.
Yes, I sold my picture frame for 25.
Of course you did. Alright, sure. Do you wanna... Yeah, I'm gonna make you roleplay that. Say it.
Hey, I might not understand religion too well, but I can see that you're doing really, really good work for the community here. And I think a little money could help. So, here you go.
And you're giving him, what, 24 gold?
24 gold.
Jesus Christ.
Which is almost everything I have left.
Well, what's your alignment?
I was chaotic good.
That's alright then. I was going to say, if you're chaotic neutral, I would force you to shift to chaotic good at this point. But that's fine. but that's fine. Alright. He looks at you. Are you handing it to him, or are you just like holding out a bag or something?
I'll hold out a bag.
Okay.
Because it's quite a lot to hold in.
Yeah. Alright. Hayatom looks at you, and he's not an old priest. He's in his 20s, and he's doing the best that he can, and he has known generosity, but like he just sort of he weighs up the bag just from looking at it. You can tell roughly how much is in it, and he says, "Oh no, don't be ridiculous. I could not take so much from you. We are not here to demand money from anyone. This is a place of faith and sanctuary."
But these people need protection, and you can help them at least a bit.
Well,
and if they feel safe, that's worth it.
I suppose. Debois, come here a moment. And he still hasn't taken the bag from you. And he says, Are you absolutely sure?
100%.
All right. Debois, take this fantastical donation and run at once to the other temple and ask for as many potions of protection as they can give us for it. And Debois shoots him a look of, my god, really? And takes the gold from you, Varric, with no hesitation whatsoever.
Before she runs off, can I pull out a pouch myself and hand it over?
Sure.
And go,
how much is in yours?
I'll match Varric on this.
20.
At a time like this, the least we can do is prevent panic in the town.
I nod to Rotaritus.
Okay. Debois takes both of them with no... Arissa.
Wait a second.
Arissa in all capital letters. Well, if you guys are! Good lord.
The good news is I have money.
How
much am I giving away?
How much are you giving to them, Arissa?
How much have they given?
They've given 24 gold each.
I will give 50 gold.
Okay.
What?
Just have to outdo them, don't you?
Yes.
I just realized I had way more to spend if needed.
That's why I matched.
24 makes that I have still... Holy shit. I think I made a typo.
Well, Arissa's rich,
I
apparently.
still have more money.
Yeah, but it said I still had 250 left. I think that's 150.
Okay. So, all in total, you have just presented hashtag rich bard, yes. Hashtag make it rain. Yeah! Woo! Doosh, 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 doosh. And suddenly, gold pieces start smacking people in the head, and all the children start crying, and the parents start cowering. Ow! 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 No, I'm kidding. So you have just collectively...
giggling the whole way time.
You have just collectively handed this... Well, not Hayatom. He hasn't taken any of it from you. He's still looking at you in awe. You've had taken off you, willingly, by Debois, his assistant, 98 gold. And Hayatom is just giving you a look. Even Debois is looking sort of like, good lord, really? But at the same time, you know, she takes it from you. No questions, no qualms, whatever. And Hayatom says... For the edit, there's a picture of Lenny from The Simpsons getting a coin stuck in his head. She takes it from you and says, I go at once and get us as many protection potions as I can then, Tom. And he sort of blankly, yes, thank you, Debois. At once. Thank you, all of you. That was very nice of you. And she leaves with all of your gold. And Higher Tom is sort of priests don't tend to get particularly over emotional, that they keep it very much in check because they have to for everyone. And yes, you're not the only one with an existential crisis anymore with Veritas. He is now sort of going, like, he says to you, I could not possibly repay this much generosity. I mean, can we offer protection to you? Please take at least 1 or 2 of the bottles we procure from the higher temple. I have only 1 on me at the moment. I have 1 in my office for when this runs out. I would give you this, at least, to protect yourselves. And you are still staying at the inn overnight, yes? You are not venturing out in the evening times.
I'd like to know, if possible, has anyone seen anything around at night?
I have only heard the slightest rumours. Everyone, of course, is very much on the lookout, but most people are too scared to. But back at the beginning, a few months after the first spate of children went missing, and this was a lot, you know, it was 3 over the course of a week, and then a couple the next week, and then a couple when we started to realise what was going on. Well, we realised that children were going missing. Other than that... But anyway, what people reported to me was that they'd seen a hooded figure skulking around at night around the city. But other than that, we have heard nothing else. And of course some, like you, mentioned no wings to us, of course. But I must confess I have given them the benefit of the doubt, simply because any children who have said they are in their employ have always come home well before dark, and well fed, and often with gold themselves.
I wouldn't mind taking in, while at the very least, we could hopefully see how it works and maybe help some more.
We do have 2 high elves that have got arcane magics and stuff.
What is it you're going to look into? Sorry, a few people blipped out then.
Basically it was just accepting the vial.
Yeah. Okay. He walks into the back and comes back out holding a full vial, and the one he's got at present is about half full. And he hands it to you. It's got the same swirling liquid in it. And if you did the same check, you would notice that, again, you can detect it's got some mint leaves in it somewhere. But other than that, can't really tell. Throw it in their eyes. Why are you going to throw it in the baddie's eyes? What on earth are you going to do with it? Why would you throw protection at the bad guys?
Well, he said use it against the baddies,
like it.
so...
If it protects the good guys, the bad guys won't like it.
I see. Sorry, it's just someone said use it against the baddies, and then a person said throw it in their eyes in the chat, and I was going, I don't think that would help you.
That's a hint.
Alright.
Alright.
Does anyone other questions?
I think I gave enough money. I'm done for now.
Barrack has suddenly started to realise that without money he's going to have to continue stealing food, but then he thinks, meh, that's okay.
I've been doing that anyway. And there's also the forest. We could have hunted.
I'm going to bow slightly to Higher Tom and thank him for his time.
He says, oh, no indeed. Thank you. We cannot possibly hope to repay. Do come again and see us. If you would like to stop by tomorrow, perhaps we could tell everyone where it is we got the new potions from. I doubt they'll be ready until tomorrow. I would love to show my congregation whose generosity brought them their, well, protection.
Certainly an honour to help.
Thank you. Greatly. All of you. Thank you. I must now return to my congregation. Thank you. Blessings upon you.
Blessings to the Watcher on all of you.
In the way that very nice priests who believe in completely different things are very nice to each other because he's a very nice person, he takes your blessing and says, Antaya on you. But in a nice way. And he heads back to the front and he continues with blessing some children who have now started to queue up again with their parents. Alright. What do you guys want to do?
Steve, can I ask what time of day it is?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
I think it was kind of like midday-ish when we were at the Blue Door House.
It was midday when you were at the Door House, so I'd say it was around 1 or 2-ish when you were at the market, so I'd say by now it's about 3:30.
What time does it get dark?
Around 5-6 o'clock. Ooh.
Okay.
So you got a few hours left if you fancy doing things, and you do still have rooms, don't you?
We could go for a what, sorry, Barry?
We could go for a sleep and prepare for our hunt.
Yeah.
The Theratus says, nighttime wander.
I reckon, I agree with what Bertie's just typed. If we go to the tavern, maybe have a bit of a chat, have a bit of a rest, and then maybe go and do some nighttime sneaky in the Blue Door House. And Varric, I really hate to say that I agree with you, but it might be time to go and have a look in the Greenwood.
I didn't hear the last part, except for the word Varric.
I said I hate to agree with you, but I think it might be time to go into the Greenwood soon.
Yay!
You've made one elf very, very happy.
So what do we reckon, tavern?
He literally just typed, yay!
Let's go to the tavern and prepare.
I know there's at least one hungry gnome and thirsty gnome in this temple.
Alright.
Where?
Yeah, because not the rest of you haven't been stealing pies all day.
Oh, fair point. In fact, I'm hungry.
You're always hungry, Varric.
Let's go and get you a nice big plate of stew and me a nice big pie.
That's true.
Yes.
By the sound of it, Apricity doesn't want to eat any of these pies anyway.
Yeah, I bought 3, but I don't know if I want to eat them. Either they've got a kid in them.
She wants to investigate the pies.
Yeah, could I do some insight on pie?
Wouldn't that be investigation?
Probably. Or nature to see what the meat is.
Perception to see the fingernail?
You know what? I'm gonna say... Oh, that is a toughie. Alright, I'm gonna say, just for now, you've got back to the tavern, have a little sit down, order some food, while I have a decision about what I think that would be. Because... Oh... Betheratas is munching on a sandy pie.
That sounds like a horrible euphemism.
Okay. I'm going to say...
Words.
I'm going to say I think it's investigation or nature, depending on which you're best at.
They're both equal, so...
Alright, in which case potentially go investigation then.
15 total.
Can I actually roll as well?
Yeah, sure.
You can have one of my 3 that I don't really want to eat.
That's a 19.
Alright, I was going to say, Varric would almost definitely have a slight advantage in this because he knows food.
Should I roll again?
No, your 19's good. Your 19's good. Okay, but to be fair, both of you, having, lived and done woods and woodlands and stuff, and gone hunting and lived on land and things, these pies have a combination of meats in them, actually. And they're all fairly cheap meats. None of them particularly fancy. A lot of them off-cuts and things that normally would either be thrown away or sold for cheap. And it seems to be deer, maybe some other small animals, rabbit, combination of that and some gravy.
Oh,
No fingernails that you can find.
that pleases me.
Well, Varric has a new mission. He wants to steal his silvers back from the leaders. So while
That's
you're...
cool. We can do that tonight.
Yes.
So yeah, while you're all sat there, Peter will bring you some food and stuff. You've got rooms for the night as well, just so you don't have to worry about that. And so yeah, what do you have a plan? Let's make one. Make a plan, guys. What do you want to do?
I'd love to chat to Peter quickly.
Sure.
Hey, Peter.
Oh, hello. How are you? What have you guys been doing today then?
We've had a bit of a wander around town, visited sites, done a thing.
Oh,
The
yeah.
usual things that new folk in town get up to.
Oh, yes. So, pretty normal by your standards then, I see.
Well, we've not had another invitation to one of those parties yet, so...
Possibly,
quite-
possibly a good idea when we all know how the last one ended.
I'm going to cough under my breath and just go, cream.
He laughs and looks at Varric.
I hope you're well,
What's that,
Peter.
miss?
Nothing, Varric. Carry on eating the food.
Food.
Oh, I'm well enough. He sort of yawns. Oh, yes, well enough, thank you. Keeping busy, always keeping busy. Are you getting up to anything before you settle down for the night?
We're thinking of turning in early, to be honest.
Oh, yes.
We were thinking, you'd mentioned the other day about making sure that we were at home for nightfall.
Oh, yes, definitely.
It just played on my mind. Is there any particular reason you said it?
Well, you've heard all about the children going missing over the last few months, I suppose. We try not to recommend to any new people that they venture out after dark because, I mean, who can say it's just children, Might be starting off with children, maybe they're easy prey, and then one day half the town's gone missing, and so, to be on the safe side, I'd say stay inside. Much better. Better idea. Who knows what's going on out there.
We've heard tales of a hooded figure. Have you ever seen anything suspicious yourself?
Nope. Can't say I have, sorry. Yes, Varric, you can draw a layout of the house and gardens, or as a little map. You've got like a piece of parchment-y napkin, and yeah, you can do that.
The one thing I don't know is the bottom floor. To be fair, we didn't go there.
Nope, so you can draw the bit you know.
I do.
Alright.
I'm going to look at Peter and ask if he's been up late doing lookouts since he's so tired so early.
Yeah. No, just sorting out deliveries and stocks and stock in stock. Yes, good joke that one. Don't hear that one very often anymore. Yeah, lots of Well, we try to serve as much food as we can fairly late into the evening, which involves a bit of a early morning, late night prep work. So I tend to get on with that as much as I can.
Did I hear food?
No problem.
Oh yes, can I Apricity is suddenly suspicious of the food on the table. Hashtag kids stew. Oh, of course. And he glances at Varric with a wink. Can I get any of you anything?
Well, some food.
Well, I was assuming it would be food. Your usual selection, would it be?
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Shall I get enough for all of you?
Yes, please, Peter, and I'll have a pint of darkest ale.
Yep, not a problem. I'll be right back. And you see that he gestures over to Joel, the teenage boy who works with him, and they both head on. He heads on to the bar. Joel starts pouring drinks for you and brings them over to your table. And then a little while later, they both come out the back carrying your massive, massive, massive piles of food.
And my beer.
And the drinks come first, so yes. You've all got some beers and some, drinks and things. So that's all Marvy. So yes, you've got your food, you've got drinks, you're all set to plan ahead.
In that case, I lay out the map on the table.
Okay.
I'm ready to try and commit it to memory.
That could be useful.
So,
This is all
where was it you entered last time?
What did you say?
Where did you enter the house last time?
On the back, there's one of the neighboring houses is close, and I could jump over and then climb my way towards the open window.
When you were in the house, did you leave any signs that you'd been there, or do you think you got in and out without being noted?
We had to leave quickly. I couldn't close the window fully. So
do you think that window will still be open, is what I'm trying to get at?
No.
The window is shut when you went back the next day.
Okay.
So Varric noticed that.
They probably have seen that the window was open, but that doesn't mean that they know I was there, or anyone was there.
Okay.
Or they could just think it was the hooded figure stealing the children, who just went into the wrong house or something.
How many guards did you?
3. Two at front, 1 in back.
Interesting for a household that's so poor.
And
Still
only when
That's a very good point.
The
What
only
do you
guard
guard when
shift...
you've got nothing to guard?
The guard switch that I noticed was when we left. So in the time we spent in the house, I haven't heard anything close to a guard shift. Which would mean that there's definitely only one person at the end of the house. At the back side of the house.
There's definitely only what, sorry?
There's only one person at the back side of the house.
Okay.
I do find it strange they have so many guards, and yet they're so poor that they're selling stuff in the market.
Well,
Maybe they've got something interesting to hide.
keeping up the appearances.
Yeah, maybe.
And they did have 2 safes we could still explore.
Well, I have with me a burglar's pack, and I have thieves' tools. So I've got things like rope and crowbars. I've got lockpicks. So I reckon I can get in and check out the safe. Or check out both safes.
For third.
Yeah.
We're here to investigate, not rob them of everything they own.
I didn't say
that
I
appears
was
to
going
be
to rob
much.
them. They might have interesting things in the safe. And if
Bertie,
there's
they
some
are
money in
suspicious.
there, then I'm not going to not put it in my pouch, am I?
Should we not try and get evidence against them while we're there?
Evidence, yes.
So let's look at what's in the safe.
I
Because
have no
that's
problem
what
with looking at the safe. Emptying them of their wealth.
I
I
never
want my
said those
savers back. This boy had bad meat.
words. I'm just happy to look. Probably.
I'd go and supervise. Unfortunately, I'm about to sneaky as a bull in a china shop.
We promise we won't get into trouble.
That's why I'm outside and armed.
Well, let's eat hearty now, get some sleepies in, and then sneak out when it's dark, yeah?
So is that the
Sounds
plan
good.
then, to go and potentially rob the leaders?
Potentially.
Yeah. To look for any
would Barry know...
evidence.
Sorry.
That's okay. What were you saying?
Would Varric know how many entrances there were to the ground floor?
Potentially you guys could know just from having a look at the outside of the house.
It'd probably be worthwhile for us to scope that out.
Because you remember there was the front door, and Varric, you and Redo would know there was also a back door.
The main reason I'm asking is I don't particularly want to have to kick the front door in if I need to go and help you. I'm all for heroic charges. Not side.
Well, I think kicking the front door down would be the most dramatic, so if you sit yourself outside there, that's...
Okay.
Okay. Looks like I'm guarding the front door.
So, delighted that you have made such a fantastic plan. Are you guys just going to eat and then sleep and stuff? And then...
Quickly, before we finalize the plan, I have one addition. Why put Vert at the front of the house, where there's 2 guards?
Two
Instead
guards
of the
won't be
back
a challenge.
Okay.
I'm intrigued. Well, yeah, why don't we go and scope it out and then work out where the best place to stand when we're there?
I'd say it's probably best to get some rest if we need it,
Yeah.
and then head out once it's dark.
So, like a short rest?
Well, it's probably what, 4 or 5 now?
How long do we have?
It will
Well,
be dark
depends
in the
what
next
time we
few
want to
hours.
go.
Yeah, it'll be properly dark in the next couple of hours. Depends, when do you guys want to go?
After midnight?
We want to make sure that everybody's asleep.
1, 2 a.m. in the morning then?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then if someone isn't asleep, we'll just punch them asleep.
What a great idea. So, that's the plan, yes?
Yeah?
Marvellous.
I'm just going to warn everyone to keep their their eyes open.
How if we're sleeping?
Because we might not be the only ones.
Okay, so you guys eat, drink, make merry, head on up to the rooms you've got, catch some shut-eye, and awaken a few hours later in the dead of night. The tavern is still got a few people up playing cards and such. Joel, the teenager, is behind the bar, sort of looking after the place. It's black as night now, the middle of the night. So yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna put my hood right up and slip out into the night.
Alrighty, are you all accompanying?
I'm making no attempt to hide, I'm just waltzing on out.
Okay.
I now imagine the rest of the group go.
Alright, so is that's all of you, yes?
Sorry.
Okay.
It's alright. So all of you head off towards the house with the blue door. And you're not being particularly stealthy, or are some of you being stealthy and some of you not?
I am.
Yeah, I've got my hood up. I'm trying to be safe.
Alright.
And
Alright.
there's still the balloon in the China shop. You know, chainmail.
So basically, we should duct tape your feet to each other.
Are we rolling for stealth?
Yes.
Cool, I got 22. Not natural.
Uh-oh. I rolled a 9. Well, total.
Oh, wow, okay. Okay, so between all of you, wow. Betheritas walks down the centre of the road, hammer on the shoulder, whistling. Marvellous.
We're rolling for stealth.
You're rolling stealth, Larissa.
I had to stop the picture.
The question, Varric, is who gets squished?
Probably the hooded figure. Let's hope.
Alright, so you guys are walking through the town and you get to the house with the blue door and you see there is a guard out the front and you can see through the bars, like the fence bars, round to the side that there's also a guard at the back. One on each, one at the front, one at the back.
Cool. Can I look around and see if there's any open windows where we're standing?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm presuming
roll...
I'm going to need to roll perception to know where
Yes.
anyone else is.
Yeah, roll a perception.
It's a 19 total.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the window that was open for the other two when they came here last time is open on the top floor.
Can I try the same entrance then?
Sure you can.
What was it? Acrobatics?
Yes.
Cool. I'm gonna follow him up.
I'm going to presume the only person I see is Varric.
Sure.
What if I use something from my burglars which I have proficiency.
To
Would
assist...
that let me roll with advantage?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So I can roll again?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad I did that. 7.
Forgot rope again.
Oh, I've got it on me. I just haven't given it to anyone.
Yeah, I just tried to use my rope, and it didn't work.
Okay.
Can I try to hoist her up?
Yeah, sure.
What do I roll?
Well, we
If you're hoisting her up, then it's strength.
Uh-oh.
Please don't drop me.
What did you
That's
get?
gonna be... I rolled a 2, and I have +2.
Alright. Are you pulling her up the wall or over the fence?
Probably up onto the wall,
Alright.
because that's where I made the jump last time.
Okay. You give a heave, and in your enthusiasm, you pull the rope and yank it right out of her hands.
Can we try that again?
Sure you can.
Cool. I'm going to try my 50 foot of rope and try and get over the fence or whatever it is.
Okay.
Quick issue. Not trying to be a buskill or anything, but I did just pull your rope out of your hands.
Oh, I thought you used your rope.
If you were throwing it down, you'd have had to have used your own. Otherwise, because she couldn't have got hers up to
probably
you.
my own. Okay.
So I'm going to try and throw mine up to get up. Oh, that's better. Oh, hang on. I can't do my 30. I got 23 total that time.
Okay.
That's much better.
Alright, you're both now up on the wall. You're level with the fence that you can jump onto or over, and then you can get down and you can go into the house.
Oh, so what move would I need to do next?
Well, it depends. Do you want to jump down over the fence, or do you want to get onto the fence and jump down from there?
Well, aren't we trying to get into the open window?
Yeah, I'm confused.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, that's all right.
So,
I'll skip that bit. So you're wanting to go up. So then it would be a strength, or you can do straight strength if it's what you're best at, or athletics or acrobatics, depending. Again, pick what you're good at.
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics.
+5.
I'm just gonna stand out here and have a look at.
Oh, I had an 18 and then it rolled onto a 2.
Oh,
I get 14 total because I did with Doodah.
okay.
My 3 rolled into a 17.
Okay, yeah, I'd say you both do okay, and you get up. And Orissa, you're on the wall too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, and the Theritas, you're keeping guard.
Yep.
Okay, roll me a perception while they're climbing up this wall.
I am so glad I get to roll that twice.
Okay, 19. Alright, you notice that the guard at the back door is like scuffing his feet and sort of hopping from one leg to the other, trying to shift his weight, feeling a bit bored. But you also notice that he's got his back to them at the moment, but if he turns his head, he might catch sight of them.
Uh-oh.
Is he facing my way at the moment?
Depends.
He's sort of facing past you, because the fence you have to stop at is to the side of the house and he's at the back. So you're sort of looking at the left-hand side of his head.
So if he was looking directly at me, he wouldn't be able to see them.
No, because he'd be looking towards the fence area.
Okay, I'm going to pull my guitar out and start playing.
Okay, roll a performance.
Distractions.
Okay, roll a performance check.
Please outplay the bard.
Next
No!
all round.
Alrighty. Give this a proper roll.
A 22 out of 20. Uh-oh.
Uh,
Wanted to learn how
what
to
is
play.
my performance? Oh my god.
That's -8.
Arissa says, I will jump off this wall. Okay, you got a 20. Alright. So, you start playing, and it's a pretty cool little song.
Everybody come and sing, do that.
Don't tell her you've got ropes and trying to hang herself.
Well, to be fair, the bard did outdo the paladin, so it's only fair that the paladin outdoes the bard this time.
And she out-stealthed it out.
That's true. God damn. Alright,
I think we all need a career change.
the guard wanders towards you, listening to the music, and sort of goes, Oi! Oi! What you doing? What you doing? You manage to make it up to the window and are now climbing into the house. With Theratas, you now have a guard wandering up to you, and he sees you through the fence.
Hello, good sir.
Are you still playing?
Yep, haven't
Okay.
stopped.
Alright, cool. He says, yeah, alright. What you doing?
Just been wandering around town. I've been hearing of monsters, and monster hunting's my trade.
Monster hunting, eh? Well, what are you gonna do? Play him to sleep?
No, but this does tend to attract them.
You're trying to attract monsters here, are you? Do you want to get us all
Only
killed?
to myself.
What sort of monsters are you trying to attract to yourself then, eh?
I've heard something of children going missing.
Aye. What do you expect you can do about that with a flipping guitar?
Well, it's not so much the guitar that does all the solving of the problems. I'm
Oh.
gonna nod towards my hammer.
Oh, I see. So it's sort of like a entrap 'em with the music and then bop 'em over the head jobby, is it?
It solves a lot of problems.
I see. Well, I'd recommend you moved along, to be honest, laddie. They don't like to have many nighttime visitors here.
I completely understand. Speaking of which, have you seen many people wandering around
What, tonight or in general?
just in general?
No. Don't get no one wandering out after dark no more. No one's silly enough to do that.
Thanks for your time, good man.
Alright, be careful with you. And he walks back
Will
to
do.
his place, and you guys are in the door. No, you remember that right, Varric, who is bobbing his head along to the tune whilst climbing through the window, who says, we went in... Say again?
Does Varric notice?
Yeah, you went into both bedrooms, but only the dude was there. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You remember this now, as it all comes flooding back to you, the familiar place as you step into the corridor. Suddenly you go, oh shit. And you start to get a slightly sinking feeling. But nevertheless, you press on. You're now in the house.
It's not too late to warn people.
I mean, you can do.
I
So, you
whispered
guys are
to
on the
others
top
then.
floor of the house, having gone in through the window.
I would like to go down to the judgment chamber. So I'm going to sneak across the landing and down the stairs.
Okay.
Wait, so we're now the middle floor.
But yeah, I'm going to go down to the middle floor into that right-hand judgment chamber.
Yeah. All right. And what are the rest of you doing?
Following along, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going down to the... Or going down to the judgment chamber, yes.
I am.
All right. As you walk along, the floorboards creaking, a little bit unnerving, and you guys make your way along the corridor and reach the door of the judgment chamber. Betheritas, as you are patrolling the outside, you see the guard at the back stay at his post, and the guy at the front you recognise as Jensen, the guy who asked for the pig story earlier. He's out by the front door.
I'm just going to chuckle thinking about pigs.
pigs. And you do, in fact, you see him trying to keep himself warm, and he's doing a similar thing to the guards. Sort of when people have to remain at their post for a long time, they sort of hop from foot to foot and they shuffle their feet, keep their hands warm, and you do hear him sort of humming a little song, and you hear a bit of the chorus going, pigs, oh, piggy, pig. So you guys are at the door of the judgment chamber.
Can I see if the door's locked?
Yeah, it's not locked.
Cool. I'm gonna very quietly open the door and have a look at it before I go in.
Alright. The door swings slowly open, and you find yourselves in a fairly long room with 2 fancy seats at the top end of it, and a sort of stool booth thing in the middle where whoever's being judged will stand, and one long tall window in one side through which you can see the dark night. And actually, as you guys peer, it's at that side of the house, you can see a tiny shadow that you guys know is Betheritas down beyond the gates outside. And you see the painting of the leaders of Leith Monroe and Mostal Moskil.
That's where I remember them from.
So yeah, you're in the room. There's no one else in there. It's all deserted and dark.
This room had the same out in the open, right? Or were both safes hidden?
I think this was the safe that was behind the painting, and in the other room it was fairly open.
In that case, I walk up to the painting and pull it open.
Yeah. Alright, yep.
Cool. Can I try and pick the lock in the safe with my lock picks?
Yes, you may. And use any...
What would that be with it?
If it gives you advantage, yes.
What am I rolling for?
It should be... I think it's sleight of hand because it's something involving dex, I believe.
Yeah, that's cool. So it's a 15 total.
Okay. Okay. The safe is fairly old, and actually you just managed to break through and open the little door.
Awesome. Cool, I'm going to open the safe and have a look inside.
Okay. You peer inside. It's very dark because there's no real light coming into the room. But you can see, and you've got something like dark vision, don't you, being a gnome?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you can see the safe has about 12 silver pieces in it.
Oh my.
I'll split it with you because I think I picked the lot, mate.
Deal.
Alright, so that's 6 silver to
But it's like,
Varric.
if you want them.
That's
So it's literally, there's nothing else in the safe corner hidden, like little back bits or anything.
no, you have a good look, and it's no bit of dust, some like scraps of old bits of parchment with nothing on them, and yeah, that's it.
Can I ask, what does the judgment chamber look like? Is there anything else that could be investigated?
There's 2 fairly fancy chairs sat they're just behind you, facing out into the room. And there's a chair and there's a stand. There's no chair, sorry. There's a stand in the middle of the room facing the chairs where you imagine the leaders sit, which is like a witness box where someone would stand to plead their case.
Okay. Cool. Well, if there's nothing else in the room that's that interesting, I'd like to sneak across the sitting room where the other safe is.
Alrighty. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Are you all going as well?
I'm checking on the room next to the stairway. Like between the stairway and the judgment chamber.
Okay. It's unlocked.
Nice.
You go in and it's a bathroom.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Oops.
As far as I can remember,
I follow
anyway.
along into the other room.
Okay, you follow along. You guys open the door and you're in a dark sitting room with 1 sofa and 1 chair and a very small like candelabra and a square patch of fairly clean carpet with some dust around it where something used to stand against the wall but has now gone. And some tapestries and some square shapes on the walls where paintings used to be. Yeah, there's the safe in here was like in the corner somewhere, Varric, I believe.
Could you repeat that once more?
I said I think the I think the safe in this room was just in the corner. Like it was a fairly small, just out of the way safe.
Yeah. Like in the opposite corner from the door.
Yeah, so I'm going to go over and investigate that safe as well.
Alright. It doesn't
And
appear
I'm
to
going to
be.
check.
Yep, doesn't appear to be trapped or anything. You can roll again.
Uh, 15 again.
Yeah, again, same. This is a fairly old safe and not particularly complicated. And you open it and again peer into the dark little thing. This one has 5 silver in it.
Cool. I'm going to take that out and hand that to her because she didn't get any of the.
Okay. Okay, 5 silver to Erisa. And yeah, that's it. Again, you have a look. No false back, no false bottom, nothing else. You've cleaned out their 2 safes.
Damn it, I was hoping interesting.
Yeah, me too.
So Varric, I'm going to whisper to you.
Yes.
Did you find anything interesting on the top floor? Or was it just kind of boring bedrooms with not anything that you could investigate in?
There was at least one interesting thing.
Yes.
It was the man.
I'm going to go and do anything for him though. Well, I don't know. We could go and kill the leaders and take over as leaders of this town if you want, but...
No, I was thinking more along the lines, it's his bedroom. There's probably something like a notebook.
do you want to go up there and see? Because
Why
are you
not?
happy to punch the man to sleep if he wakes up?
Varric. Sorry, not Varric. The Theratas.
Yep.
Roll a perception.
For that one.
15. Okay, you see someone moving in the front far corner of the garden. So by the front door there's a big stretch of garden. There's a shape inside the fence, moving towards the house from that side of the garden.
Can I make out much about them?
You can roll an investigation to look closer, or another perception, depending. And Varric is whispering to Arissa and Apricity that the lady was missing when they were previously there. The Leith Monroe, the leader, she was not in her bedroom when they came last time, but the man was asleep.
6 total that time.
6 total. You can't make out very much. You just see a dark shadow of a person moving from the end of the garden towards the house.
I'm gonna keep pace and see which way they're going, as if they're going to go past one of the guards.
Yep, okay. This person is walking straight, not being stealthy at all, coming from the end of the garden, walking right up to the front door.
I'm gonna move into a position where I can see them as they approach the guard.
Alright, you get, and the guard has like a light hanging behind him on the wall, and you see this is the lady from the marketplace, Leith Monroe, wearing like a hooded cloak, and she nods to the guard, and she's carrying a torch that she extinguishes, and she goes into the house.
Interesting.
So that last bit again, she goes where?
Into the house. She's on the
Okay,
ground
so
floor.
she's returning from being somewhere.
Can you three, who are on the middle floor, please roll me a perception for a listen check? Meanwhile, Arissa and Varric are silently whispering an argument about how rude it was for him to go into a lady's bedroom. Okay,
What did I roll?
Apricity 15. Perception for a listen check.
Oh,
Arissa got 3. Arissa, you are too distracted arguing with Varric and being disgraced that he went into a lady's bedroom
Yep.
to hear anything. Varric's got a 7. And Varric, you are being whisper argumented at by your dear friend the Bard, and you don't hear anything. Apricity, you hear the front door shut and footsteps downstairs in the hall.
I'm going to hiss to the other two to be quiet. Can we hear where her steps are going?
You hear footsteps, you hear them stop, you hear something get put down, and then you hear them open a door, and the door closes, and then you hear footsteps walking along the hall, and you hear them echoing, getting close to the spiral staircase leading up to your floor.
What was in the sitting room that we could hide behind?
There's one chair and one sofa.
Don't pull me into the bathroom. I'm going to hide in the sitting room.
Varric is trying to pull the ladies into the bathroom next to the staircase. So, okay. Where are you guys going?
I guess we can go to the bathroom and lock ourselves in.
Yeah?
We can pretend to be one of the guards.
You're going to pretend you're one of the guards, even though both guards are outside.
Well, they had 3 out the other night, apparently.
Okay. Is that so? You're going to go lock
So
yourselves
there's
in
a
the
bathroom
bathroom?
upstairs, so hopefully she's going up to her bedroom bathroom.
All right.
Sweet, that's good.
Can you guys all roll me a stealth check as you head into the bathroom, please?
Say that again, I lost you.
Roll a stealth check for me, each of you.
That 20!
Yes. Hang on. Sorry, guys. I know.
Okay, so Arissa has a natural 20, Apricity has a 4, and Varric, you got a 26.
Yes.
Alright, so you and Arissa dart into the bathroom, Apricity standing there sort of going, oh gosh, sitting room, bathroom, ah! And as the footsteps come round and you start to see the shape of a woman in the shadow of the candlelight coming up the stairs, you are pulled by 2 arms into the bathroom and the door shuts behind you. And the footsteps stop at the top of the staircase, right by the bathroom door.
Oh! I'm going to use my minor illusion cantrip, and I'm going to send it to the floor above us, and I'm going to make noise inside Liath's bedroom.
Alright.
Which will continue for the next minute, unless she gets up there and sees what it is.
Okay. Cool. I like it. Alright, hang on.
So I'm going to make, like, kind of shuffling footsteppy noises in her bedroom.
Alright. Okay. Well, she definitely heard that. So you hear a voice that you recognise outside the bathroom say, I do hope you're not slacking off in there. Get back to your watch. And then the footsteps head on up the stairs and fade down the corridor, and you hear her going into her bedroom. You hear the door of her bedroom shut. What do you guys want to do now?
I want to see what she brought back with her. Hang on.
It reminds me of the chair from last time.
I won't be able to put this in my edit, but there's a fantastic video of 2 guards standing facing the front and like an entire party creeping past them doing the like Monty Python style tiptoe walk. It's amazing. Okay, so Apricity, you wanted to what? Sorry, you wanted to see what she brought back.
I'd like to go downstairs and see what it is that she brought back with.
Okay, and what would the rest of you like to do?
I kind of want to explore downstairs.
Okay, you can head downstairs if you like then. Roll me a stealth check for heading down the stairs, because although she's upstairs in her bedroom, she'll be listening out for noises now.
I'm so glad I messed up. I rolled a 15, so that's 22.
Alright, you've got a 17 for Apricity, a 21 for Arissa, and a 22 for Varric. Alright, yep. You make your way down the stairs, and very carefully, you find yourselves on the downstairs landing. You can see the back of the guard's head stood outside the front door, but the front door has another door behind it, and if you're careful and don't make any noise, he shouldn't turn around and manage to see you in the hallway. You can see a door down the end of the corridor, and you can see another door just beside the staircase as well. And you can see a little sort of coffee side table right by the front door.
So what was it that she came in with? She had a lantern in her hand?
Well, you guys didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that's true. What? So we had her put something down, is what?
Yeah, you heard her put something down, yes. In fact, if you look at the little table, you can see that there's what at first glance looks like a sort of normal sort of candle, like that would be used instead of a torch for walking around for light. But the candle, it's a red candle with a black wick, and it's been half burnt down. And there are like designs all around the holder that the candle's in, carved into it, and they look almost abyssal. They're interesting symbols for a human woman to have.
I wish you could do the private reading. That could get us out.
That could be the ideal way out.
Yeah. So do you guys want to get out now, or do you want to do some bits?
Well, I was going to say, Barrick, did you say one time that you had, like, amazing memory?
Yeah.
But can you look at the symbols and kind of commit memory, and then we can pull them down later when we're back to safety? Does it work like that?
Can I ask the DM?
I tell you what, roll me a
Wisdom.
Yeah, alright. Roll me a wisdom.
Yes. That's 18 total.
Okay, yeah, you get a look at the symbols. I might draw them for you in a second. But yeah, you can commit those to memory. There's only about 3 of them.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can put down, I think.
Or, to be fair, we could just steal it.
Wouldn't Fertie frown again?
I'm not scared if it frowns.
What do you want to do, guys?
Fine, we can leave it.
Also, we might take off the leaders of this town if we steal their candles.
Say that again?
We might take off the leaders of this town.
We just stole all their money.
Yeah. In that case, might as well.
Money is one thing, but taking candles, my god, man.
Candles is over the line.
I just got a refund on my bad pie.
Okay, so
We did.
are you taking the candle as well, yeah? And the holder, more importantly.
Yeah, I'm going to take the candle and the holder. Because they're going to know that someone's broken in already, so I might as well take.
Say that again, sorry?
I said I'm going to take the candle and the holder. Because they're going to know they've been broken into already. Their money's gone.
This is true. This is very true. Okay, so you take the candle and the holder. And Varric, you've committed it to memory anyway, but you've now got it with you, so that's all gravy. All right.
That's in case we lose it.
And did you want to do anything else, or is it time for the piggy story?
Wait, what else did we see when coming down the stairs?
There's the door right by the stairs, and there's another door further on down the corridor.
Well, we have to be super sneaky because she's on alert because of the noises she heard in her room. Might as well have her around.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. So can I open the nearest door first? So
Yep,
it's not
you can.
outside?
Sure. Okay, you open the door, and it's a closet, like a cupboard to store things in.
Cool. Can I have a look around, see if there's anything interesting?
Yeah, sure. There is a hooded cloak and a man's, like, winter cloak. And
Do I recognize the cloak?
which one?
The hooded cloak.
It just looks like a hooded cloak, to be honest.
Damn it.
could be anything, could be anyone.
Yeah, in that case, I'm not gonna mention it
All right.
yet.
Whoa. What other doors were there? Where can we go?
There's the corridor.
There's one more door down the end of the corridor, yeah.
Cool, can we go and have a look, please?
Yeah, sure. It's not locked. And you push it open and you found the kitchens.
Can I look around?
Sure.
Quietly.
Can I quietly look around and try to find food?
Sure. You find not a lot. You find a couple of the pies that they were selling earlier. These pies have not been taken out with them. Some of them have slightly burnt edges, or they're just not quite right. They're not good enough to be sold pies.
I take one.
Alright.
May I quietly have a look around for any alcohol?
Sure. Roll an investigation.
Where's my stat? 11 total.
11 total, okay. You find one half-empty bottle of a fairly cheap mead.
Cool, I'll take that.
Yeah? Alright. Mark that down and say you've got that. And, okay. Is anyone else looking for anything in particular? Barak is on a seafood diet. Yes, we are aware.
I like how my inventory now says one more stolen pie.
You got a refund and another free pie.
Yeah, except that this one is slightly,
Oh yeah.
slightly blackened around the edges.
Slightly burned.
Slightly burned. Not such a great pie, but still, you stole it, so it's great.
It's edible.
Exactly.
That's enough for me.
Cool. So is that all of the downstairs explored?
Yeah. There was just the kitchen and the cupboard on this floor. Well, through the kitchen door, there is, like, where the servants would have slept, but those quarters are empty and there's nothing there. There's, like, a room with some beds and nothing.
Can I have a quick run inside the beds, just double check there's nothing there?
Yeah, sure. Roll investigation.
16 that time.
15. Yeah, nothing there. There's some pillowcases and stuff. Nothing.
Are there any other exits from the ground floor?
There's some windows. They're all locked, but they're locked from the inside, of course.
Well, Arissa can pop through the front door, but we might get in trouble for that. Should I try and open a window?
We could just go back up to the window that was open.
Yeah, but that's on the top floor, isn't it? That woman might still be awake.
Yeah, we could just sneak past.
Yeah. Can I try and pick one of the windows first? And then if I fail, then we can go back up.
That's okay, because last time we couldn't close the window behind us. On the other hand, they might know that we've been there. Stealing all their stuff and shit.
Yeah. So can
Let's just do it.
Cool. I'm just going to try and pick the lock on the window then.
Alright.
Oh, awesome. Oh, I can't type.
What did you get?
23 total.
Ooh, nice. All
Using
right.
my lockpick.
Yeah, you pick that lock. You pick that lock clean.
Yeah.
And
Pick it good.
it opens.
Cool. I would like to try and climb out the window if it's big enough.
Yeah, it's big enough. Yeah, it's it'll be a tighter squeeze for Varric and the others, but you get through no problems.
Whip.
I think I'd be lost to leave.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to stick my head out the window and have a look around before jumping out.
All right.
Would there be any guards that could see the window from what I can tell?
There's only the one guard from the front door, and he currently cannot see as far around as you guys. That's to say, you guys can't see him.
Cool. I'm going to climb out the window and try and get up and over the fence without him noticing me.
Alrighty. Roll me a stealth check, and you guys, you are slowly making your way out the window as well.
Do we all roll still?
Yeah.
9 total.
Ooh, and 20 for Arissa. So that's okay then. Alright, yeah, you guys make it. You're all good.
Cool. So we're out and over the fence.
You're out and over the fence, and actually you're now at the top end of the front garden, and Vatheritas, you see them headed this way, and you can walk up to meet them, because they are now very close to where the lady appeared from.
Cool, so does Verti see us coming out?
Yep, he sees you coming out, and he sees you heading toward... He sees you coming from that end of the garden, which is where he saw the lady coming from.
Cool, I'm going to silently hail him and point back towards the tavern. Or does anybody else want to go sneaky around more and see what we can find in the dark?
I have dark vision, so I can see.
Yeah, I've got dark vision. Want to go for a wander?
Vatheritas
He's
is...
pointing out something.
Sorry, I had myself muted. Talking to myself here. I was just saying that I was going to point from where the lady came from and shake my head when Tricity points towards the tavern.
Cool. I'm going to follow Vatheritas' point and see if I can work out what he's pointing at.
Okay, he's pointing down towards the far end of the garden.
I presume I can kind of enter the garden without attracting any notice.
If you roll a stealth to get over the fence, and if you want to use your rope, then that'll probably help you even more.
So,
I'm just going to go on the outside of the fence.
Alright. You can walk around, you can show them around on the outside of the fence.
Yeah.
And you can
I
get
know
to
my
the...
limitation.
You can get to the far end of the garden.
Arissa didn't get to tell the story.
Maybe
Aw.
later, it might be needed. We might be suspect in the robbing of the house. I mean, investigation. We didn't take anything, honest.
Yeah, I just remembered something.
What do you remember?
Ooh, good for it.
Those engravings.
Oh, there they are. I've sent you a picture.
Like, we can show them to Verti without showing him we stole stuff.
I'm just handle. I don't mind.
Okay.
I want to find out what Bertie's pointing at, though. Did we see anything from outside of the garden?
Are you all going around from the outside of the garden? You guys aren't going around from the inside, yeah?
I'll go around from the outside, but I've got my rope ready if I need to go back.
Okay. You guys you guys head in around the edge, and you get to a corner of the garden that's mostly obscured by trees, so anyone walking past wouldn't be able to see.
I
But
thought you said.
oh, it's okay, Varric. No, it's not the no wings symbol, but well done for trying. It's great.
It looked like a triangle with wings.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. You try it. It's all good. I mean, the no wings symbol looks like this, but never mind. It's all good.
Ah, that's where my mind messed up.
No, it's not similar to the Borsin flag. No.
There's just a triangle on it.
Yeah. Not every triangle is Borsin, but yeah.
Do we happen to know any of the symbols?
Anyone who has Arcana can roll
I
for
have
it.
+1 Arcana.
I have +2. So what, we roll for Arcana to see if we can tell?
Yeah. And the Theritas you can roll as well, actually.
Apparently I'm not very good at this.
You missed that class.
Please,
Yeah.
nat 20, please, nat 20.
Can
Okay.
I roll? I'll,
Actually, roll that on the table.
18
not
for
halfway
Varric
across
and 4 for Apricity. Okay.
It's not a nat 20, but it might not be that bad. What's my negative?
-2. You have a -2 to Arcana and Religion. This is ridiculous.
I have a -2 to a lot of intelligence stuff.
Oh my god. You're like the least
So
intelligent
then,
paladin ever.
-2, that's 16.
Okay. Is anyone else rolling? Arissa, are you rolling as well?
as well. Natural 1!
Woohoo!
Existential crisis.
Arissa smacks herself in the head when she looks at the symbol.
That is a forgotten thing.
Roll a 1 on.
Arissa, you look at the symbols and they swim before you and you forget what they look like almost as instantly as you see them. The Theritas, you don't know what they mean or whose symbols they are, but you get the feeling that they are from the Underrealm.
Cool.
Which I will say more about in a
nature?
minute. And Varric, you don't quite know where they're from, having not really heard a great deal of the Underrealm, but you know that they're bad. You just know, you get this instinctual feeling they are bad. For Theritas, you would know the most about the Underrealm being a paladin. The Underrealm is essentially one of the many places described as like a hell. And depending on your religion or your belief or your god or your deity or whatever, but this is a place that is in existence and definitely real, and it's where demons and devils and archdevils and horrific creatures come from.
Is it similar to Infernal?
Say again?
Is it similar to the language Infernal?
It's similar, but it's not like a code, it's not words, it's symbols that mean things.
Okay, so more like hieroglyphs.
Yeah, it's not like spelling anything, but from what you can understand, it means potentially places or layers from the Underrealm. It's something to do with that. You're not quite sure, but that is from just the way it's written and the style and the feeling you get when you look at it. That's what you and Varric think.
I'm going to immediately expend a divine sense to see if I can sense any evil around.
Okay. How far does that go?
Off the top of my head, 60 feet.
You
Should I
get
check?
you get the sense of someone touched by evil, but on the very, very edge of your reach.
Hmm. But nothing directly from this Oj.
No.
Or more
The
the symbols.
symbols, the symbols themselves. What
Yeah,
you
60
get,
feet.
what you get from them, is that they are used as, with the candle, a form of ritual of worship and prayer to try and reach out to someone from the underrealm. But the symbols themselves haven't got any dark power. There's nothing in them. It's
Yep.
out. Yeah, that's what you get.
And I'm presuming that I can't see the candle specifically.
They'll have shown it to you, so you can see the candle itself. It's a red candle with a black wick, and it's about half burnt down.
Okay.
Can I ask Bertie what you're pointing at?
I saw the lady of the house come from this end of the garden. So not from the street.
What can we see through the fence?
You can roll me a perception because there's very thick trees here.
Perception?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, you can't type it. Only 12.
Alright, Apricity of 12, Varric an 18. Come on, Vatheritas!
And don't hope so much, even with advantage.
13.
Oh, it's
Okay.
4.
It's not a 7. It's all good. It's not a 7. Alright. Arissa, are you looking as well? Or are you working on your pig story?
Pig story.
Okay. You're mentally preparing a pig story in case the guard comes out and sees you skulking nearby. Alright. Apricity and Vatheritas, you see that behind the trees there's a little patch that's been cleared away. Like someone has moved branches out of the way so that there's a very small place that someone could stand hidden out of the way. Beautiful, Arissa. And Varric, you got the 18, didn't you? So, Varric, you can see that in this makeshift tiny clearing, just big enough for one person to stand in the earth, there has been carved those 3 symbols from the candle as well. And you can see the remains of what looks like a tiny fire pit that's been stamped out in the middle. So the 3 symbols were drawn in the ground like a triangle, and there was like a fire pit in the middle.
I point at it and just nudged the others.
Alright. After he nudges you and he whispers what it is, you guys can sort of peer closer and you can see there's 3 symbols drawn in the floor, in the dirt, and there's like the remnants of a fire pit. The fire's gone out, it's been stamped out. Just a little one. Fairly recently.
So he's relayed that to us now.
Yeah, and you guys can, once he's pointed it out to you, you guys can look a bit closer and you can see now that he's pointed it out to you as well.
Creepy.
So, Therapeutics is going to curse a little bit. I don't believe that the lady of this household is exactly the most devout person in regards to the good gods of these worlds.
So
Just
symbols are bad.
Pardon?
clear from the
Disappear.
other and take it from myself. There's very few good things down there.
There's very few what?
Very few nice things that can be found in the underworld.
Guys, this reeks of bad.
Yeah, I think we should get away from here.
Are you sure going away from her is good? That shouldn't we like stop her?
Well, the question is what's stealing the children? If she's
Something from the
dabbling
other realm.
in dark arts,
It's her.
well, it could be something she's accidentally released.
Can I say two things? So one, I'm currently holding her candle and candle holder, so hopefully that'll put a bit of a stop on whatever she's doing. And two, hey guys, do you remember the Golden Castle and how it was supposed to have a doorway to hell and was supposed to have loads of weird things living down there?
It was also not empty when we were there and when we left.
So,
Ooh, time to fetch my Edo from the kid.
pardon? What did you say, Varric?
I joked about the arrow I shot at the kid the first time.
Oh, okay, so... well, can you remember the stories? The Walden family disappeared, and shortly after these two magically appeared in power. Do we think that this woman's been using the underworld to gain this power?
We only explored the lower levels of the castle.
And not
There
even
might
those
be more
fully.
answers in there.
We didn't even explore the lower levels fully.
We also found knowings in there.
Mm.
Yeah, and then we skipped a room.
I think it's time to go back to the castle.
Yeah, but it's the castle or the Greenwoods I'm thinking at the minute. To be fair, we could go and talk to Higher Tom about this symbol and see if he's seen them around the town, because he's got more of a local knowledge.
Well, we could
You want
do
to
that
give?
when we get back from the castle.
Do you want to give the poor man a heart attack, showing him symbols from the underrealm?
If you hand it over to me, I could have a more devout talk about it to him. I think he's going to believe that I'll be least likely to be summoning entities from the underrealms.
And why would that be?
Because I'm much more likely to kill them.
Fair point.
Cool, I'm going to hand over the candle and candle to the Theritas.
And I'll stash that.
So what are you saying? You want to go to the Warden Castle at night?
Do you think it's any less scary during the day?
Well, it'll be easier to get through the city, I guess.
On the other hand, we might find stealing the kids.
The only person that will have trouble sleeping in the dark, I think, is Arissa.
Aww.
Hey!
Just telling it how it is, pretty lady.
So, what are you guys thinking?
Castle?
Oh, why not?
Either the castle or the forest, because I was so close to getting the party to go to the forest.
Let's go to the scary forest in the middle of the night. What a marvellous idea.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
we
if we
can
went
catch
to
the
Greenwoods,
knowings.
it'd be better to go during the day. Because, like, they're going to be properly holed up in there, aren't they?
And we could be wandering around forever and a day, trying to find them.
Do you know how much ammo I would get there? And the food!
Barrack just
I'm
wants to
pretty
go into the
certain
woods to see if there's some food.
Barrick, while we're travelling around in the wilds, I don't think either of us are going to have any problems about food.
Good.
Taps the bear trap.
Taps his quiver. mostly like trying to act big and just tap the quiver.
I'm just going to stand there and sing about pigs under my breath because I've got that song stuck in my head now.
Alright, I guess we're walking on towards the castle in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I'm going to go there stealthily, just in case there is anybody hooded and doing anything naughty tonight.
Might be useful to establish who is carrying the small bottle that we got from the hire.
I think I had it initially.
Yeah, Bertie's got it.
Okay.
Unless anyone else clearly wants to take it.
I mean, you can all use it if you want. What do you want to do with it?
That's a shame so far.
I'm still not putting a lot of stock in its effectiveness.
Yeah, I don't really go much by these human beliefs, so...
Says the people who donated 98 gold for them to buy more.
Hey, I didn't give them any gold. I stood back.
Most of it came from the bard.
Arissa, do you want to drink it?
I will drink.
Alright. Drink the...
God.
Drink the...
If I die,
Alright, drink
Let me
the...
just double check I've got a healing spell.
Drink the potion of protection.
Chug, 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 chug.
I chug the potion.
Okay, the whole thing.
Yep.
Okay, roll a constitution.
Oh, God. If you die, I'll look after you.
So Constitution, that's just plus 2.
Yeah.
16 altogether.
Alright. Tastes kind of bubbly. And you can taste basil and some leaves and some herbs. It's not pleasant, but yeah. You feel fine.
It wasn't used as a drink. The kids opened it and put it next to their bed.
So basically,
See, I reckon it's just been cooked up by that Volson Creek to make money out of people's fear. I don't reckon it's got anything good in it.
she just drank incense, essentially.
Yeah. Nice.
I made her
When she pukes later, it's going to smell nice.
Aww. That's nothing on what her poop's gonna smell like. Okay, so Arissa, you feel like maybe you're protected. Maybe you're magically enchanted and everything's gonna go great for you. Just maybe. You also taste like potpourri. So, are you guys pushing on, and where are you heading?
I think we're going to push on towards the castle.
Alright.
Castle.
And I'm going to be doing my usual and sounding like a foundry.
You're going to be what, sorry?
Sounding like a foundry.
Okay. So, you guys were at the house with the blue door, right at the top in the corner, the house with the yellow thing round it, and Vatheritas is going clank, clank, clank as you shuffle down.
Stealthily clanking.
Stealthily clanking. You head on straight down, past the school, and past the Tavern of Respite. And as you get down towards the market and you can see the gates to the entrance of the town, clank, 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 can you all roll me a perception, please?
19. Total.
7 for Arissa, 13 Apricity, 19 Varric,
Lucky 7, so therefore
Hey.
8 for Veritas. Okay. Varric and Apricity, you hear a female voice. Arissa and Vatheritas, you hear a voice. You can't make out what it's saying. Apricity, you can tell it's female. Varric, you can hear one sentence, and you hear a woman's voice very quietly in a whisper, and you hear the voice say, "Don't think so. Not tonight."
Did you guys hear something?
Yes, I heard a voice.
Oh, nothing here.
I could hear a woman somewhere in the distance.
I could hear what she said. It was, "Don't think so. Not tonight."
What direction was the voice coming from, please, DM?
It was coming from, just looking at the map for you. You guys are where the city gates are. There's a section of market. You guys are behind there. The voice was from further round that corner down the street. So towards the city gates.
So if we look towards the city gates to go down towards the market.
Yeah.
It was over there. And I obviously point in the right way.
Awesome. You guys can have a peer around if you want to have a look.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
let's.
And you can see a dark, hooded, cloaked figure standing with their back to you. And you can see the person who was speaking, the woman, standing just in front of them. They're in shadow, tucked under the side of a house, and looking around furtively behind them towards the city gates while they're talking.
So can you repeat that, sorry? Because I keep breaking up. So the woman is talking to the person in the hooded cloak.
Yeah. And
Oh.
they are in shadow next to not a house, like a piece of the market stall where there's like a roof and things. Varric says, "Shall we tackle the hooded person?"
I've got dark vision, so can I make out whether the hooded figure is male or female, or whether they're human or other?
Yeah. Looks male from the way they're standing and the broadness of the shoulders. Arissa is fighting the temptation to go and say hi.
I'm going to hold Arissa back for a second.
Good plans, good plans.
And then tap Varric and point the other way and whisper, "Flank him."
I sneak around.
Alright, roll me a stealth.
24.
Alright, yep.
Nice.
So, is it now Varric's on the other side of them and you are all on this side?
I'm trying to loop around so that I'm flanking them.
Okay. So, the Theratas and Arissa and Apricity, you're staying where you are. And Varric...
Currently,
Ooh.
And
letting
Varric...
Varric get started.
Yeah, you've looped round and you very carefully stick your head round the other corner of the market stall. So you're now closest to the city gates, and just so you can see them and they can see you. And you're equal distance, they're like halfway down, and you guys are now on either side of them.
I
I'm
try
not.
to signal,
Say again?
like just that I'm in position. I signal that I'm in position.
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, I knock an arrow as well.
Okay. Varric and Apricity have knocked arrows in their bows.
Good
At
idea.
this stage, I'm going to let go of Arissa and walk out.
Okay. As you start to
I stay
walk,
hidden.
because they haven't seen you yet, you
Yep.
hear the woman. You hear the woman saying, It is too quiet. It has never been this quiet when it has happened before. I don't think it will be tonight, Vincent."
You were breaking up a little, so I missed the name, I think, of it.
Oh, okay, sorry. She said Vincent. She said the voice said, it's too quiet. It has never been this quiet and happened before. I don't think it's tonight, Vincent.
Oops.
Looking at the figures, can we tell if they're like guarding the gate, or are they just random people that stood there?
They are deliberately stood there so they're out of the way, but they are looking back at the gates every so often. They're not the guards, so they're not guarding it, but they are looking warily at it.
Cool, thank you.
And hang on. The male in the hood, you hear speak very softly and say, "Once more round to be sure." And they both start to move off back towards the city gates.
I'm going to move to intercept.
You're going to move to intercept them.
Can I go in and say hi?
And call out to them
What are you going to...
so that their attention's on me.
Okay. What are you going to say?
Nice night for us all to be out.
Alright. The girl whirls round and produces 2 daggers from underneath her robes, from like strapped to her calves, and stands in a sort of crouch looking towards you, still in the shadow because there's not a lot of light around here, and the hooded figure stops and hasn't turned around yet but is listening intently.
Does dark vision help any?
Roll a perception, actually, because of how close you are. Won't help you with the dude because he's got his back to you.
Yeah. That'll be a 19.
Oh, okay. The girl is Debois, the assistant from the temple.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
She
You're
raises
out
an
late
eyebrow
tonight.
and looks up at you, Orissa, and says, "Hello, what are you doing out this time of night?"
Searching for the causes of the ills of this town.
Searching for the eels.
Searching for the causes of the ills of this town.
Ah, I see. And what are you doing looking for them here?
We heard a bit of a commotion.
You heard commotion from over here. We have heard nothing.
What are you doing walking around at night?
That is none of your concern.
Well, if it's related to the search for the children...
Of course it is.
Yeah,
What else
this
do you
is-
think I would do with my time?
Can I use my insights?
Yeah?
to
What are you
see
checking?
if I sense anything about this?
Sure.
What if we're both? Why don't you tell us what you heard? And we can go together.
I do not think so. We do not need help. The hooded man puts a hand on her shoulder, and you hear very faintly, because he's speaking very quietly, you hear the voice of Vincent, she called him Vincent, say, Now, they might be able to help us. And she, looks at him warily and says, We do not need it. It is just more people who can get hurt, and it'll be our fault if they do. Yes, but they're not exactly incapable, are they? And she sort of doesn't say anything else to him, and she sort of looks back at you, Vitheritas, How do you think you could help us? What do you even know of this? You have been in this town, what, a few days?
I'm going to produce the candle and go, regardless, there's evil in this.
And what is this?
Used in rituals to summon beings from the underrealms.
Ep5 is now out of the shadows and standing next to Vertu. Okay. With a lowered bow and the arrow back in your quiver, yeah?
Yep.
Alrighty.
I've got my hand on the dagger under my cloak, though.
Okay. And Varric, you're hidden. Okay, cool. Okay. She looks at the candle holder and says, "Where did you find that?"
My colleagues found it. Apparently the current leaders of the town have some dealings.
Well, I cannot...
It's been used this evening.
This evening? You are sure?
Very.
Well, nothing has happened this evening, and usually it is done by now.
There's a timing to this?
It is usually between midnight and 2 a.m., and it is now nearly 3 a.m. Usually, a child has been taken by now.
How do you know that it hasn't happened?
We cannot
now
be
step
sure,
out.
but usually you will hear a mother shouting. They tend to go in and check on their children much, much more often now. And occasionally you will hear noises, footsteps, something. We have not found it yet, though.
Do you believe there's a creature?
Yes, of course there is a creature. What do you think it is? A fucking ghost?
No, I was thinking more of the lines of some unnatural creature.
Well, you
Or
are as
being from
long
other planes.
you are along the right lines. Well done, Horned One.
Yep, same.
Okay.
I can hear.
Oh, Varric can't hear anything.
I
Is it just Varric who can't hear anything?
don't know. Can you hear us back?
Yeah, I now hear you guys again.
Hey.
Hey, awesome.
Yeah, it went all jumpy as well.
That's okay. Okay, so I'm only going to do you about 10 more minutes of this, but I want to get you to a nice point to, you know, end on. By nice, I mean something horrible and cliffhangery, but you know.
Address Vincent.
Sure? Or the back
and
of his
ask him
head.
what his business is in the town.
Okay. Vincent, the tall dude in the hood, turns around and says, "I've been part of this town for a long time, and I can protect it better than anyone here might know. Or try, at the very least." And then, after a moment pause, he says, "I thought I told you guys to be in your rooms after dark.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit of the cutting out too.
Oh,
Yeah, Rosie, in like every other word.
okay. Hang on. How is it now?
That's right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. He
He said that he's part of the town.
Vincent said, "I've been a part of this town for a long time now, and I can protect it better than many here realize." And then he pauses, as if he's thinking, and then deciding what to say. And he says to you guys, the three in front of him anyway, he says, "I thought I told you should be in your rooms by dark."
Good evening to you, Peter.
He pulls the hood
Why
down.
we're
He pulls the hood down, and it is Peter the innkeep, the tavern
Is
keep.
this why you've been so tired recently?
Could say that. Could say that. Yes. It's not a part-time job. This. And
Really is.
where have you guys been? Haven't seen you skulking around here. Where have you been the rest of the night?
We dropped in on your leaders.
Oh! And how were they?
Engaged in some rituals or another.
You saw them?
Just flicked the candle a bit.
Wow. I wish I could say that explained as much, but it doesn't quite fit in with my theory.
And what would that be?
Well, I feel like there's a bit of explaining that needs going on to you guys. Debois, perhaps we should take them back to the tavern. Come on, you lot. And you too. And he shouts towards you, Varric, who is still hidden.
Okay.
But he rolled quite highly, so we knew you were there.
Oh.
Sorry. So he takes you guys back to the tavern. And it's pretty deserted now. And there's no one else in there. And the fire's still going, and Joel is there looking. He looks a bit surprised to see you all together and Peter back so early. But he pulls up a table for you, and Peter motions for you all to come and sit with him and Debois. And they sit you down at a table by the fire. And he says, well, first things in order, I think I owe you a reintroduction. My name's not Peter. I'm Vincent Poe, and well, I'm a member of the Ring. And you guys can roll a history or a. Ooh, that was a big noise.
History or?
History or just deciding. Just history. Sorry.
18.
Okay.
Glad you make it up for me.
And me. I only got a 5.
I got 11, but negatives hurt.
Oh no.
Well, Varric, so far, you are the only person who has heard of this. The Ring, as far as you know, is a secret order of highly trained people who fight unearthly, otherworldly, unnatural, evil creatures.
Awesome. With unearthly?
Basically, unearthly or evil creatures.
Evil creature.
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure my notes are correct.
That's alright.
Very nice to meet you, Vincent.
And you again.
Have you seen the symbols where else in town?
On that there candle holder? Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. First time I've seen those. As I said, doesn't quite...
You know what it is that they're trying to summon?
Let's have a look at it again. And he has a peer at it and he'd say, couldn't tell you exactly. It's definitely something of the Underrealm, though. But I expect your paladin could have told you that.
I did.
Or the bard. I hear she's often better than you are. No offence. So, yeah. I'll have to have a little... I could do some research for you if you want. But it's definitely the Underrealm. I can tell you that. And that one there, actually. And he points at... Scrolly back up. Oh, I can't pin. Glenn, can you pin the 3 symbols for me so I can find it again? The one that looks like 3 J's in the bottom corner. He points at that one and he says, that there, that's the symbol of demons.
Vincent, how many are there in the member of the ring?
Couldn't tell you that. More than my job's worth, but I can tell you it's more than enough. Sadly, we're stretched quite thin nowadays, but...
Can I inquire of your employer?
There's no employer. There's just a group. We're trained, highly efficient. We go where there's trouble. I've been here.
So vigilantes.
I've been here since just after the Waldens disappeared.
Sorry, madly speaking.
It's alright.
Yep. No taking.
So, Vincent, aka Peter, was sent here after the Waldens disappeared because there was the sense that there was some dark magic going on. But he says, but nothing really came of it. I stuck it out just in case because I just had that bad feeling. And then in the last year, things have started going a bit tits up. Children are disappearing. And after a while, well, I've dealt with things like this before. I've got a pretty good inkling of what it is we might be dealing with. Problem is, catching them. That's the tricky bit.
Vincent,
Aye.
is there any explanation for stuff happening in the castle as well?
None that I've been able to find. And at the moment, I've been distracted with this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We did find a room covered in the symbols of the No Wings group in there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was there anything in the room as well? Or was it just covered in symbols?
A lot of bodies.
Oh,
And a child.
dead child.
And the child.
No,
Oh,
a living child.
Oh,
The thing is, he was fast. Really fast.
Unnaturally.
yeah, sounds about right.
And he may or may not have sustained an arrow to the shoulder.
Well, it's better than the knee, I hear.
Oh god.
We also found some Wendigos down there.
Did you?
And we found the wild bodies.
Cool. Well, you've been on a right little expedition before you came up, didn't you?
It was an
It's all in the
interesting.
way.
It was really fun.
Was it? He looks at you, Arissa. Well, with an attitude like that, you could be trained up to join the ring. You could with an attitude like that. So, let me get this straight. Did you find out what happened to the Waldens then?
They were the Wendigo.
They were the Wendigos.
The Walden kids were the Wendigos. There were 2 graves with adult Waldens.
Oh, bloody hell. Well, that's one mystery solved, I suppose.
We
Well.
don't know why they were down there.
No. That's a
And we
good
may
point.
not know where the kid led went to.
The No Wings kid.
Yeah.
Probably their hideout in the woods.
But from inside the castle,
You said he was fast, right?
yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right. He'll have beaten you out of there. He'll have gone back to their hideout.
What exactly are the knowing?
Oh, no bloody idea. I've been far too busy trying to sort all this out. As far as I can tell, group of ragamuffins, some of them probably wanted by the law, some of them probably just trying to do their own thing. Got a bit of a rob the rich to feed the poor complex about them, I think. They help out kids, give them odd jobs to do, sending messages to people and the like. Give them food, give them some money. By the sound of it, give them some magical artifacts. Pah!
Artifact, you say?
Well, you said that kid could run unearthly fast. There's only one way of doing that I can think of. That kid had boots of haste on. Come on.
Interesting.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. Would not surprise me.
Well, they managed to get past 5 people that were able to beat 3 small Wendigos with only a few scratches.
And an arrow in the shoulder.
My respect for the kids going up and up. I hope I get to meet him one day. Varric would like to borrow the kid's boots. Alright, gotta find him first.
Well,
Gotta catch him first.
Onto the forest then?
Vincent, is it just yourself that is a member of the ring in this town?
Oh, not just me. And he
So
nods his
there are
head.
others.
And he nods his head towards Debois, sat next to him.
I see.
And she gives you a nod.
Could you do with help?
I do not think we need the help, but of course extra eyes out there might be good. The problem is, you can't know what you are looking for, especially in the daytime. That's why we have to try and catch it at night. And in the interest of you having about 5 minutes left, Vincent says to you, from all my years of dealing with unearthly, shitty creatures of the night, soon as them kids started going missing, I started to think. And I recognise the pattern, and I'm pretty sure I know what we're dealing with here. I'm pretty sure this town's got an Oni, which I will spell for you now. Now, these creatures are fickle. They really like the taste of children, and they'll go after them, and they'll take them, and they'll devour them. Not nice. The best part is, you can catch them while they're doing it, while they're distracted and on the scent. However, during the daytime, they can take the shape of anyone. This could be anyone in this town. That's the problem.
Do they still give off the feeling of evil? They are.
Should do. Oh, have you got one of those senses, haven't you, Paladin? Hey, maybe they could be of extra help to us after all. Come on. And he sort of nudges Debois, who gives a begrudging nod.
I'm sure I could try to pinpoint its location.
So you are going to go up to every single person in the town and essentially sniff them of evil. Oh yes, that won't give away the fact we know what we are looking for, will it?
Why not go to the church? There's a lot of people.
This is true. Could do a lot of them in one small place. She looks to Vincent and he sort of nods. Aye. Could be a good place to start, if you're willing.
I'll drop by both churches in the morning.
We were invited into one of the churches because of our donations.
That'll be the one with Higher Tom, I imagine. He's the
Yeah.
nicer priest of the two, if you don't mind me saying. Well, if you're going to drop by in the morning, perhaps we'll come too. Well, Debois, you'll be there already, won't you? Yes, I will be. So, well then, I, not wanting to sound much like your father, but I must encourage you all to get off to bed now. It's very late, don't you know?
I think we've had an exciting enough night.
Yeah, yes. Terrible. So, go on, off to bed with you. Joel, I'll finish up here and then I'll be up. Alright. See you fellas in the morning. Behave yourselves. Don't get any more mischief. And he sort of claps Debois on the shoulder and she sort of gives him a grimace and then walks out the door to go back to sleep in the temple. And you guys can make your way upstairs to where Swanee and Redo have fallen asleep on a pile of books in your rooms. And you guys can catch them shut-eye before tomorrow morning. So
I like this.
This couldn't be better time.
Alright, I'm not going yet, but I'm just going to stop the recording. So can everyone shout tatty bye to the recording? And I'll stop it.
Tatty bye.